Visit PalliserInsurance.com anytime, anywhere.
Calling all skilled heavy-duty mechanics. Core Industrial Services has an exciting opportunity for you. They're hiring a full-time heavy-duty mechanic to join them at their 9,000-square-foot shop in Rocanville, Saskatchewan. As a heavy-duty mechanic, you're responsible for performing maintenance and repairs on a wide range of equipment, from heavy machinery to light trucks and more. At Core Industrial Services, they believe in the power of teamwork. Apply today on their website at coreindustrial.ca or call them at 306-745-4844. Core Industrial Services, where expertise meets opportunity. Apply now.
Weather for B&A Petroleum and Swift Current with multiple locations serving southern Saskatchewan for over 30 years. See B&A Petroleum for all your fuel and propane needs. Weather for tonight, partly cloudy sky and a low of 12 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. A high of 26, wind out of the northwest 10 to 20. Tomorrow night, increasing cloudiness and a low of 13. Wednesday, partly sunny sky, isolated shower or thunderstorm, 40% chance of those, and a high of 25. Looking ahead to Thursday, partly to mostly sunny sky and a high of 28.
B&A Petroleum is a southern Saskatchewan family-owned business that's there for you. They've been supporting their clients for over 30 years with locations in several communities throughout the southern part of the province. B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs, with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their Cardlock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever. Another one bites the dust? What a weird saying. Are they swallowing the dust? And why is it so dusty in the first place? So many questions, but what I don't question is where I get my tires. When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper tire dealer. Your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Cobra Instinct tires. They bring your car to a shorter stop on wet roads and have decisive maneuvering and sporty performance. Dust yourself off and ask your local Cooper tire dealer about Cooper Cobra Instinct tires today.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Yeah, we do. Welcome to the Monday edition of the Sports Cage for Kellen Solar. Barney Shinkaruk. Going to be joined by Maz McFly in a moment, and Curtis is with us. So if you're watching us on the stream today on YouTube through the sportscage.com, hammer that like button, please, because Curtis is all by himself here. He's a one-man show doing a fantastic job. And they get judged on the likes on the stream, right? So do it for young Curtis on the other side. What we got in the show today. Mark Mueller, our OC, is joining us at about 3:30 to talk about the game last week and then looking ahead to Toronto. And amongst other things, we'll probably talk about his father as well, local legend. Also, Olympic hockey rosters first 6 released. Is that a big thing? Is anyone caring about that? We'll go through some of the teams. Canada released theirs. Thought it was cool. The Red Sox report coming up today, and then Darian Durant. Little Darian in our number 3. Maz, like I said, is with me. So Maz, this has been a debate and this is a whole separate show at some point that we can have. We got Rider Pride that we just heard. I don't even know who sings that. Then we got On Rough Riders, On, and Green is the Color. Like, there's 3 songs after a victory we like to play coming into the show here on the Sports Cage. I feel like that one, the Rider Pride one, has a little bit of Oak Ridge voice to it. Because you got the one guy with the really deep voice. Is it baritone? Is that what it's called? And it just reminds me of John Gregory's sweater, a stubby beer, probably a smoke-filled room. And that one really has 80s written all over it, doesn't it?
I would say so. You can't forget John Gregory's gray pants, those football pants with kind of like the cuff waistband on them. Like that was, you got to have a unique figure to wear that. But yeah, I agree. 80s vibes, Oak Ridge Boys for sure, and liquor, smoking, and I think that probably would have been a burgeoning Section 28 before Section 28 became uber famous at Old Taylor Field. That would have been a young Section 28 when it was probably just getting started for being Hooliganville. God, that was a lot of fun. That was so much fun. Yeah. Man. Oh, just cutlasses in the parking lot as far as you could see, station wagons, bench seating trucks. You know, we loved the half tons with just the bench seating on this program. Roscoe's probably sending us in a picture as we speak. That's a thing that they need to. I know sometimes they listen over at the stadium. In the team store, marketing department, the John Gregory sweater. Bring it back and sell it. Limited quantities. Put one aside for me, please. Like, that's a nice looking, that you could dress that up with a nice slack, maybe some jeans. Come on. Even if it was just for a limited run for, like, if it was the ironic Saskatchewan Roughrider merch of maybe you wear this once, it's an ugly sweater party, and I'm not saying it was ugly, but it was an ironic sweater party. You wear it Halloween, maybe at Christmas if you're a Rider fan, and your work is kind of a fun, like if it's not all seriousness at a Christmas party where you can actually have a little personality, you wear that, everybody gets a chuckle.
I would wear it. It would be in the rotation. It'd be in my Rider gear rotation, especially in that fall, the chillier months. Let's be honest. You could wear that golfing as long as it wasn't windy out because it wouldn't break the wind. So there's something. The John Gregory sweater. Hey, we're 2-0. And it's Overreaction Monday here on the show. And our Twitter poll today, and it's lighting up the text line already, is to do with Brett Lawther. Like, it's one of the, if you didn't go to
just a bit outside
our X and vote, you still have time to vote. We're sitting at we're sitting there's almost 2 hours left. Should the Riders
just a bit outside? Should
the Riders be bringing another kicker? Yes, 42%. No, 38%. And here we go again at 18%. We were here last year. It was later in the season, though. It was more July-ish. I'm watching. If you're watching the stream, you're watching those highlights again. Like, the snap looks good. The hold looks good on that one. He pulled left. Kicking's a tough gig. Like, where do you, how critical are you, Maz? How are you jumping on the, okay, we need a new kicker wagon, just bring someone in to push, as we say? Where are you landing on this?
Oddly enough, in watching the game, yeah, he missed, 3 field goals and an extra point. I never felt like the game was in jeopardy because by the time the third and fourth quarter rolled around, Trevor Harris hit his groove, and no matter what Hamilton did, we had an answer. If they drove the field, we drove the field. Like, we got points and we would have kept going. And yeah, I mean, keep in mind, if there's no 47-yard A.J. Ouellette run and no Roland Mulligan Jr. interception, maybe it's a different game. But it never felt like we were in jeopardy of losing. And I know we only won by 5, but it just didn't seem like it was that huge of a deal. I get it. Luke said it best last year. When you have somebody who's pushing you, it brings out the excellence. And maybe they do bring in somebody and they never ever see the field. But
I get that. But there's also the side too, when you bring in someone to push someone, the other person just kind of folds up and is like, eh. Like everybody's personality is different. It doesn't matter. Workplace, going back to the old workplace thing. You bring in someone that, if you're competitive and it's like, all right, let's go. And it's like, what show am I? Frank Costanza, Lloyd Braun versus George. All right, let's have a contest here. Who can sell the most computers? And George, waxes Lloyd Braun. Lloyd Braun's phone was never plugged in. Frank Costanza goes, well, good news, Lloyd, bad news, you're gone. So there's competition, and it depends on the makeup of the person. And I coach kids, and you see it in kids more so. You can challenge some kids, and other kids you got to coddle, and other kids you just kind of let them be. Hey, our wives as teachers, they know kids and the kid brain and all that way better than us. Like, they can pick out a kid and whatever the kid has way before us. So I don't know if you bring someone in, is law they're going to amp it up? I just think.
Trevor Harris has 3 guys behind him that want his job. At any given moment, they would all love to be where number 7 is standing. All of them. And that's constant. That'll never. If one of them gets hurt, they're bringing in a 4th. There's never not going to be 3 people behind Trevor Harris. It's in every other position. Remember that guy Henry Nell who kicked for us a few years ago? I follow him on Instagram. I believe he's another Australian kicker, and he kicks in the Arena Football League, and he makes all sorts of neat social media content. But he was one of these dual guys, punter and place kicker, and he was maybe on the squad 21 or 22, or maybe 22 or 23.
Okay, so
Curtis made a good point in our pre-show meeting today. Do you want Brett Lother to have a bad game in early June? Or Labor Day when the Bombers are in town?
That's what I was going to get to. It's early June. The other thing that, when I was listening to our fantastic post-game show on the Rider Broadcast Network, I think it was Justin Dunk who brought up that Hamilton is a tricky place to kick. For some reason, I think Mosaic, I've been on that field and played some pigeon flag football senior men's stuff there. It's weird down there. And I think Winnipeg would be very much the same because it's kind of built down low. But they were talking about how Hamilton is a tricky stadium to kick in from either side. And then other people are bringing in, and I think we're getting text messages coming in on it as well. Prairie Land Rentals text line 936-6262 is because of the smoke, they had to practice indoors. So some people are saying that always affects the kickers the next game out. Maybe so. And then they also talked about on the post-game show, which is something to keep in mind here. It's easy to say, let's bring in another kicker. We got to get another kicker. And people are obviously, because it's Sasky and people are jumping, it's overreaction time. It's like, and put him in. Lother is dead to me. It's settle down. It's the other thing that they talked about, that I was getting to on the post-game show, was to know every stadium and the little nuances. Is that the right word? Quirks? Yeah. Good job, Curtis. It's like you have to know every stadium in the CFL to just bring in some kid, and everyone's talking about the college kid, the local guy, and maybe they could bring him in. But to go to these stadiums and start figuring it out and the quirks of each stadium, there's a lot more to it.
If you watch the game before the Rider Ticat game, it was Calgary and Toronto, and Rene Paredes, and who's the place kicker for Toronto? Because of the wind coming in off the lake, there were some field goals that got knocked down 5 yards before they hit the uprights, and it affected the kicking game because the wind there and the way that stadium is good. And Rene Paredes is one of the best kickers in the CFL over time, and he had trouble with it. But they'd said wind wasn't necessarily a factor in Hamilton that night. I believe when the game started, it was 9K. I think I saw that flash on the screen. It was 19 degrees and 9K. I'm like, ooh, it's not that hot or that muggy there, which sometimes it was. And the wind wasn't a factor. Sooner or later, they will do this. And what's the threshold of, all right, so next game, does he have to be perfect? Is he allowed to miss one? If he misses one, are you back on that? Or is he allowed to be normal? Because a quarterback never is 100%, has a 100% completion rate, by the time the game's done. So where does Lothar need to be to either calm the waters or start the travel agent in, bringing in somebody to lace him up? Because the guys they brought into camp, they didn't necessarily knock anybody's socks off.
No. It's not easy to do.
Well, I don't necessarily know that there's that many veteran kickers just out there. Although someone said, I was looking at one of the fan forums, that Boris Beatty is available. Is that right? Is Boris Beatty available? I think so.
You're asking the wrong guy, man. Oh. I'm like, you want to know the gambling part of things on the CFL? You ask me. You want to ask me where a kicker is, what he's currently doing? No idea. 2 kids, really busy.
Lots of young guys with CIS experience.
Yeah, that's where everyone's going.
And I know, but not a lot of guys with pro experience, and that's the difference. If we're just going to go to some guy in the CIS that's never kicked in the CFL before, save it, leave Lothar in. But if this is true, then you bring in a veteran. And look at how Winnipeg's done it. Winnipeg had problems with their kicking game, and then they bring in, what's his name? Of course, I can't remember it now. And dude's money. He had, 3 or 4 field goals from over 60 yards last year? So they got that on lockdown because it was costing them games. But what's the threshold for Lothar for next game? Is he allowed to miss one? Does he have to be perfect? And if he's not, then what happens? Because nobody plays perfect football. Luck was on there. Maybe the snap and the hold isn't perfect. Maybe it's not. Like, he's got a new holder. This is game 2 of a brand new holder. Maybe it looks okay. They didn't botch any like in the first game where it was off the tee and they were running around like hot potato. But maybe there is something off.
There's I'm trying to look for the message here that I got on who to bring in. But yeah, hey, 9 Prairie Land Rentals text line. Is there a veteran kicker that that still grabs his vehicle, goes to a park somewhere, wherever he lives, with a bag of balls, and still practices waiting for the call? If you know of anybody out there, 936-6262, and we might fact check it, just to let you know.
Sure. A couple of questions I have from the game on Saturday. I'm happy we won. It doesn't matter how, it's just how many. So 28-23. Hamilton did what Hamilton did in game 1. They shot themselves in the foot. We can't stop Kenny Lawler. That's just kind of our thing, neither when he was a bomber or a tie cap. But luckily, Kenny only had 150 yards, not 250. So check. A couple of things I want to know about. And this will be good because Mueller is on the coach's show today, Mark Mueller. We kind of went away from the running game in the second half. Both teams did. Well, Hamilton never got there started in the first half. I think Greg Bell had 4 carries throughout the whole game. We kind of went away from it. Love to know why. And the other thing, too, is what's wrong with Sam Amelis? Why didn't he play in the second half, and is it long-term? That's a bigger question for me. This whole kicking thing, that'll sort itself out.
You get locked and loaded with 2 questions. Those are good ones. Mark Mueller is coming at the bottom of the hour. Always have your say. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Power tools, gardening tools, generators, whatever you need. 600 Albert Street. Deal with the owner. 936-6262. We got an Art texting in. Typical Rider fans out there. Player had a bad game. What, are we going to cut him? Blah, blah, blah. Brett will be part of the winning culture. Correct. I think you just can't cut him. It's the second game of the year. Roscoe's asking, I don't know if we'll get to that one, Roscoe. Okay, the other part about the game, those are games that Rider teams, not so much last year, but let's remember Rider teams in the past. You'd go into Hamilton and you would lose that game.
You would keep it close and find a way to lose.
Exactly.
We'd lose 28-23.
Exactly. We won. We got out. Now the thing that I want to ask Mueller, one of my questions, I'm going to write it down on my foolscap, is the travel. Now you come all the way back from Hamilton. So you get back, let's say, early Sunday morning, right? After midnight, probably. Eric Clapton style. And then you rest. You're back on the Bird Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday morning to prepare for a game by the lake there in Toronto on Friday. It's a short week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we're doing it now, not later in the season. And I brought this up last year on the show. These guys are big, huge athletes. They are not flying Robert Kraft's plane that the Patriots have, where they are on a WestJet plane that you try and go into the brace position. Unless you're 8 years old, you can't do it because it's so tight in those things. And these guys got injured and they're banged up, and then they got to fly back the ice. They got to do all their thing. Then they got to get back on. It's grindy. This is a grindy week for the Riders.
It's nothing that anybody else won't have to go through. I totally get it. Thankfully, we won. And if we can go out there and steal another one, while Toronto sorts out its quarterback issues until Chad Kelly comes back, because Nick Arbuckle, he looked not awesome on Saturday. He looked once again. Well, and the other thing too, newsflash, and I said this, Calgary's not going to be a 5-win team like last year. Calgary's actually pretty good. They got Nick Arbuckle confused in many, many ways, and well-earned win for the Stamps. So don't get it together by this weekend, Argos. We need you confused and lost in that position.
2 games. We can get to all the games from this past week. That game, and there was another one that I picked wrong. Not that I pick all the games, but I was just like, nah, this one, that one was weird for me. We got to take a break. Mark Mueller is going to be standing by. The Coaches Show coming up for Steelcraft Doors and the Rough Rider Foundation 50/50, which, if you're buying before the game, rider5050.ca, the early bird prize this week, Riders on the road in beautiful British Columbia, includes flights for 2 from Saskatchewan to Vancouver, 2 nights hotel accommodations near BC Place, 2 tickets to Riders Lions on July 19th. Actually, not a bad trip. And round-trip transfers from the airport to the hotel, or you can take $3,600 cash. Riders5050.ca. It is the Sports Cage. We are the home of the Riders. We're streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
Been there, done that. We get it. And we've got something great for you. The Great Bin Giveaway on 620 CKRM. We're giving you the chance to win a 100-ton fertilizer bin from Core Grain. All you have to do is be listening to find out which sponsor locations you can enter at, all across southern Saskatchewan. You'll also have some chances to qualify during Saskag Today with Ryan Young. The grand prize draw will take place at Ag in Motion this July. Don't miss out on your chance to have a shot at the Great Bin Giveaway.
Brought to you by Ag Direct Hail Insurance, Zipperlock Building Company, McDougall Auctioneers, Redvers Agricultural Supply, and 620 CKRM.
The 17th Annual Jazz Fest Regina 2025 is June 19th to 24th. Welcome summer fun of 6 days and nights with several headliner concerts featuring Shuffle Demons, Anthony D'Alessandro Quintet featuring Benny Benack III, Rhythm and Blues Review, the Ted Warren Sextet, the Christine Jansen Quartet, and the Lorraine DeMarier Trio. Plus, Sunday, June 22nd, the Jazz Brunch with the U of R 50th Anniversary Alumni All-Star Big Band and Multicultural Day to follow. Tickets at jazzfestregina.ca.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 140,000 5-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 plus standard installation is included. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance. Visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
Look over here, apples. Now look over here, oranges. Let's compare them. Hey, you can't compare apples and oranges. What you can compare is Freeze Tallman's pricing on decking, railing, and fencing to all the big box stores. If you need a decking, railing, or fencing job this season and want to shop local, then Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel is exactly what you're looking for. Heck, they even deliver. There's no comparison.
Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
Do you have a safety program or OHS committee? Call Campbell Safety. Harassment in the workplace? Call Campbell Safety. Don't know if you have a proper safety program? Call Campbell Safety. Once you have an injury, it's too late to have a safety program. Be proactive with Campbell Safety Consulting. They'll come out and customize your safety program and be that extra set of eyes you need. 35 years experience doing health and safety, and they have seen it all, and then some. Call them today and get a free consultation. Campbell Safety Consulting.
Hey, we're Harvard Media. A few times a year, we love to get together with our favorite businesses and throw a good old-fashioned classic auction. There's nothing like waiting until the last minute, battling out other bidders, and claiming your prize. We're looking for businesses to join up for our next one. All we need from you is an experience, service, or item like a gift card. In return, we'll serve you up a top-tier ad campaign. No cash needed. This is a trade deal. Check out harvardmedia.com for info. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, I just got Wi-Fi down here.
Oh, just down there in the corner by your mouse hole in the wall?
It's from Glasser's TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer. You should get it too.
I do. My entire house here is blanketed in fast, reliable Wi-Fi while getting security and safety tools to help me manage my connected home.
It covers all that space up there?
It sure does. In fact, I have enough to cover your space down there too, if I wasn't planning on setting a trap for you.
Oh.
Contact Glasser's TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today.
Welcome back to Sportscage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sportscage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
You can always have your say 936-6262 Prairie Land Rentals text line. It is for Kellen Solar, the Sports Cage on Monday. Anything you need solar, located in Lumsden, the local guys. You can go visit Derek and Ryan there and talk solar with them. All right, Coach's Show time. As we talked about this, Coach's Show is brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made Western Canada for Western Canada. New 40,000 square foot warehouse set to open in Regina, and the Rough Rider Foundation 50/50. Rider5050.ca, nice little BC getaway is the early bird prize this week. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. We're joined by Mark Mueller, who made some time for us today. OC Mark, thanks for doing this today. I know it's a short week. It's a bit of I called it a grindy week because you guys get back and then you got to go back out to Toronto. Is that a fair assessment, or am I a little off there?
No, anytime you got a short week. Well, first off, thanks for having me. And but anytime you have a short week, especially when it includes travel one way or both ways, you have the same amount of work with just less time. So every game has the same amount of preparation, that needs to go into it. Some days or some weeks you have more days, some days you have less. So same amount of work has to get done. So guys work hard, and we'll make sure that we're prepared for practice tomorrow morning.
A bit of a generic one here, but you watched a lot of tape, I'm sure, since the win in Hamilton. How do you grade that game from the offensive side of the ball on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought in spurts we did some really good things. Left some plays out there, but that's any game. And, there's always, play calls you want back. There's always plays you want back, whether you're playing or you're coaching. So I think there's lots of room for improvement, but I thought there was a lot of great efforts out there. And I thought the guys played really hard. And, you're going to play hard in every game, so you might as well win them. So I think that the guys performed well and hard. And I think there's lots of ways to improve from it as well, which is good, especially early.
Coach, congratulations, 2-0, only 16 more for the undefeated season we spoke of last week with Coach Mace, so we're all in on that. It seemed like, and this is just a fan's perspective, watching on the couch, running game in the first half, looking good, big run. It kind of went away in the second. Was that dictated by the Hamilton defense, or what was the sort of the cause of, the passing attack got going with Trevor?
Well, there's give and take in every game, and there's sometimes you have run plays called that sometimes you throw it, and sometimes there's pass plays called where you end up actually running it. So there's some plays out there where we kind of have some things that we can do based on the defense, and there's sometimes plays where we kind of dictate where we want to go with it. And we got good players and smart players that can handle that. So kind of as the way the game goes, you have to adapt during it, and whether that's at halftime or during the game, you got to kind of make some changes based on what the defense is doing. And I worked with the defensive coordinator over there for a long time, Brent Monson. He's a really good football coach, and he does a good job. So he kept us on our toes.
Kadeem Carey, I'd say for being in town for 10 minutes and then all of a sudden you're playing the game, he had a few carries or whatever. I thought he acclimated well. Your thoughts on Kadeem with not a lot of time in Rider Nation?
Yeah, Kadeem's a good football player. He's proven that at every single stop he's had, probably since he first put a helmet on. And part of the thing that helps with Kadeem is that I've worked with him before. He's been in an offense. He's been in an offense that has the same structure as this one. In Calgary and in Toronto, and now with us. The same. A lot of the very similar, not the same, but similar terminology or the bones of the offense come from the same place. And he's a smart guy. He can understand what those are and what the changes are. And he went out there and he performed well. Just like, everybody here, we expect if they get to put the jersey on whatever it is, Friday nights or Saturday nights or Thursday nights, whatever we got here in the CFL, that they'll live up to the S on the helmet. And Kadeem did that in Hamilton.
He had 4 for 26. Did he play as much as you expected or more, less?
Yeah, sometimes, the game dictates it a bit where it goes. If AJ's out there and rolling and doing well, we'd like to have him out there. But, the more times we can get both of those guys rolling, the better it'll be for both of them, and the offense.
I thought by the second half, Trevor Harris really started to cook. But one of the things, a lot of us are very nervous. Sam Emilus didn't play for most of the second half. Are you allowed to say what's the status? Is it okay? Is it a precautionary thing? Because, there's a lot of fans. Sam E., he's a big part of this Rider offense.
Oh, yeah, no, I thought, Sam had a good game. I think that Sam had a catch, I think, in the fourth quarter, so he only missed the last couple drives there. But I don't know what's going on with him. We'll find out tomorrow. I would expect that if he can go, he'll play, and he'll be a big part of our offense.
Okay.
AJ, right? Career long and all that. The one thing that I notice about him sometimes, Mark, and you're a former quarterback, man, can that guy block? Like, that's something maybe he doesn't get enough credit for, blocking in the passing game.
Yeah, I think he's one of the better protectors that I've been able to be around in my 10 years in the CFL. And we used to say all the time, I had the pleasure of coaching running backs in my previous stop for a long time. And we always said, hey, guys, like, everyone here can run the ball, and that's why you're here. But if you can't protect, doesn't mean you can't play. It just means you can't play for us. And AJ and the guys that we have definitely can do that. And, AJ does a lot of stuff back there, whether it's, help other guys know who to block, or he cleans things up all the time. He's a very well-rounded back, and I don't want to say that's his best attribute, because he's obviously great catching and run the ball, but it's right up there.
Keyshawn Johnson, I would say that was his best game as a Rider. He really went off. You guys obviously saw this last year, even probably through training camp. Now we're getting a chance to see it. Probably one of the things that impresses me the most is just like right there, reliability and ball security. Did he come with that, or is that something that you're preaching to these guys every day?
Well, a lot of guys come from, pretty good backgrounds where they play, and they've had a lot of, good coaching on the way up. But it's something that, Coach Mace really preaches is have an obsession for possession. We got to make sure that we possess the ball. The team that possesses the ball the most is usually going to win the game. So whether that's holding it, whether that's throwing it, whether that's, defending it, you want to make sure that you're around the football. And I think that the guys do a good job of understanding that it's a big part of the game. And the more time, especially on offense, that we have the ball, the more chances we have to score.
Looking ahead to this one in Toronto, obviously we talked about Kadeem Carey, a little chip on the shoulder game there, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of write-up about that and a lot of hype around that. But going into Toronto on that short week, Ryan Dinwiddie, good coach. What are you expecting from them on the defensive side?
Well, they're always well coached and they're always prepared. It's ever since RD's got there, they've been first or second in the East and in contention to go to the Grey Cup or in the Grey Cup. So Ryan does a great job. I was around Ryan. I'd consider him a very close friend of mine, and it's always good to go and compete against guys that you consider are one of the best at what they do, and to go into Toronto and get to play a well-coached team with really good players on it is a great challenge, and we're excited for it. That's why you do it.
in that game on Saturday against the Stamps, and there was flashes or whatever. The Stamps came in and they played well. They're having a situation at quarterback, and if we can take advantage of that, the Argonaut defense. So it's Kevin Ivan and Jason Shivers, co-defensive coordinators. What is like one of the big things or the big challenges when you guys are game planning? Is they do a lot of things well.
Yeah, I mean, they got good players and they're well coached. Both those guys you mentioned will make sure that they're prepared for what we do and they know what we put on film and things like that. So I think it's just making sure that, we're understanding what we're doing best and, and put our, the players in the best position to go out there and execute.
Okay, last one, Mark. Have you called Frank McChrystal? Have a long conversation? How excited were you for that?
Yeah, I mean, I was really happy when I got the heads up a day before it was announced by AZ, and then talked to Rob Vanstone here. It's awesome. It's awesome for a whole bunch of people. Frank and his family, all the people that were fellow volunteers. I think people forget that a big chunk of Frank's career, he was a volunteer as a junior program, right? So a lot of time that he put into it, not getting paid, and I think that it was built on volunteers. So guys like Bernie Schmidt, who was my offensive coordinator, and a whole bunch of directors are just as much as involved in that. And Frank will be the first to say that. But pure joy for Frank. I actually got the chance. Him and Bernie came out to a practice during training camp, and that was a pretty fun day for us, especially for me to show those guys around here and have them on the field and for a training camp practice. So I'm really excited for everybody that can go, and I'm really, really proud to say that I played and coached for Frank.
Yeah,
he said when we had him on last week that yes, he was excited about going into the Hall of Fame, but the most impressive thing that day is he made it through an afternoon shopping trip at Costco with other senior citizens. That's what brought a smile to his face.
Yeah. I just hope, I think that the bust, whatever it has, or the statue that they have him, either has the toque or the mustache. It's got to have one or the other, preferably both, but whatever they go with, I think will be more than fitting for Frank.
Last week, Coach Mace brought up his dad, John, watches the program down in San Diego. I don't know if Larry does, but Larry and Frank probably have some stories that can't be told on the Sportscage, eh?
Well, I mean, I don't, not whether they can't be or no one would listen to them. It's one or the other for sure, or they're untrue. It's any of the above for sure.
Mark, thanks so much. Like I said, it's a bit of a grindy week. I know you did this for us today. Thanks a lot. Good luck this week. Keep it rolling.
Appreciate it, man. See you around.
Right on. OC Mark Mueller. Oh, man, that's so fun. His dad should be on the program once a week.
I wonder if his dad texts him in game, hey, you should call this play, or hey, I saw this is open, should you do that? I'm wondering, because I've only met the guy once, and you showed me like this is Mark Mueller's dad, and he's a character, and I'm like, awesome. He probably has texted his son before during a football game about what play to call. Wouldn't you? If your son was, you would.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I texted the guys. Actually, I texted Glenn Suter because he always likes the gambling stories. How I had the Riders 27.5. Mm-hmm. I had the Riders scoring 27.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
And then they missed the field goal. And I'm like, oh no. But then I'm like, single point. I'm like, CFL, single point, cover.
The Rouge never loses. The Rouge has caused more heartache and pain in the CFL than we will ever know.
And I'm anti-Rouge guy, but on Saturday up in Waskesiu, I poured a stiff one because of the Rouge. It was good. That was the coach's show, by the way. It's brought to you by Steelcraft Doors in Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canada. When they open up their new 40,000 square foot warehouse here in a few weeks, they're going to have every door that you need. And also for the Rough Rider Foundation 50/50. Riders5050.ca. The early bird prize this week, you're going to play the 50/50 anyway. You might as well get in on the early bird. A trip to BC to watch the Riders play July 19th. Tickets to the game, hotel, flights. We're not driving.
Nice.
Rider Express, no.
It's funny that you say that. So my brother and his wife from Saskey, they're going to BC. They're going to Kelowna. And I talked to him the other day. I said, we're driving. I'm like, careful. I said, if you're coming through Calgary, anywhere in Alberta, you're taking that. I said, that G7 thing's on in Kananaskis. And from what I'm seeing on social media, there's like roadblocks everywhere and bigwigs and jets and we'll be fine. We'll be fine. No, where did they get trapped yesterday? Just outside of Calgary by Callaway Park, because some bigwig from some foreign country with a 30 vehicle motorcade. Everything gets stopped. That gets priority, and you wait on the side of the road.
Did they go to Callaway Park? Does it still have the log ride?
I don't know. I think so. That was their proximity, because I told them, I said, careful when you're going through there. We'll be fine. Yeah, we're not flying to Kelowna. We're driving. I'm like, okay, then. I'm just letting you know.
How many black SUVs are going to be in the auction after this is done, the Calgary area? All these guys would pimp them out and lower them, get some spinners on them. I saw a video today, and I was like, "What is going?" Oh yeah, G7.
Yeah, so there's your Travel Saskatchewan tourism tip if you're headed west in the next few days.
Bypass,
and you're on the Trans-Canada
Crow's Nest.
You may be stuck somewhere, and it ain't a forest fire.
Go Lethbridge way. Go through like Curtis. Wouldn't you
Crow's Nest.
Drive that way? Isn't that Crow's Nest?
Crow's Nest Pass.
It's still get a little greasy there, though, when you're driving in the summer and you got tourists or people that aren't the best drivers and they're like staring at eagles and all of a sudden they're like into the oncoming traffic. Oof. Hey, Frank Slide, what's that?
I actively avoid Crow's Nest Pass, so.
Do you know some back roads we can give the listeners some tips on?
I'm forgetting the name of it right now. I always go kind of like the back way when I'm going around Lethbridge.
The back Harlow Road?
Sure.
There's a trivia question. Anybody in Sportscage land, if you know what the back Harlow Road is, what movie that's from, you and I could be really good friends.
I have no
idea.
Take a break.
What you're talking about. We'll come back.
No idea.
Back Harlow Road, one of the greatest movies as our 80s kids. Yeah, I can reveal it. We got 15 minutes left when we come back. It is the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
From the SAS Today newsroom, here's what's making news in Saskatchewan.
The provincial government says housing starts in Saskatchewan are up over 108% compared to the same time last year. More houses can translate into lower prices.
SAS Today's team of local journalists are on the ground focusing on local topics that matter to you. Sign up for our daily news digest, making the news even easier to access. SAStoday.ca. Everybody has a story. From Harvard Media. Everywhere.
The best thing would be to never have hail. Since we can't control that, the next best thing is to write you a check when the hail comes. Municipal Hail Insurance. 3 tiers of stackable insurance, sold at cost, starting with SMHI, with accurate adjustments, timely and fair payouts. Because the best thing about us is we've been there. Municipal Hail Insurance. Farmers insuring farmers for over 100 years. Deadline for new applicants to apply for SMHI is June 30th.
If your garage door is running a little rough, you don't need to be talked into something that you don't need.
Sir, what you need is the new gigantic-esque, voluminous, astronomical, ginormous, gargantuan, exquisite air garage.
Just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in business for many, many doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Wait. With me, you get a little garage door keychain, please.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Bidding is now open for the timed online farm equipment auction for Bruce Wilmot of Cardiff, Saskatchewan. Register to bid at mecauctioncompany.com. Up for auction, Ford Versatile 946 4-wheel drive, a Versatile 875 4-wheel drive, John Deere 9600 Combine, Westward 9000 Swather, Peterbilt 379 Semi, plus much more. Go to our website, mecauctioncompany.com, to view the entire auction. Bidding closes this Thursday, June 19th at 10 a.m.
What's the hardest part about 7% Mike's Harder lemonade? Is it that it's not big enough to share with friends? We have a Mike's Harder 1-liter bottle for that. Is it that there's not enough flavor options? We have a 12-pack Mike's Harder mixer with 3 flavors for that. With tall cans, 1 liters, and mix packs, maybe the hardest part for Mike's Harder fans is choosing which one. When life gives you lemons, why not make Mike's Hard Lemonade? Enjoy responsibly. Must be legal drinking age.
keep your equipment out of the rain and mud this spring by storing it in a new building from Olympic Buildings. A new building on your property can serve as a shop for equipment or hay storage, a riding arena, and so much more. Olympic Buildings in Regina can store it all. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that spring or summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner. 600 Albert Street. This is Sportscage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Thanks for tuning in for Kellen Solar on this Monday. Maz is with me. Still some time if you're surfing the web and you want to go into X or Twitter. And you can vote on our poll question today is based around Brett Lawther and the kicking game for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Should the Riders be bringing in another kicker? We're at 43% for yes, 39% for no, 17% for here we go again. Quite a few votes. You can go on there and vote for another hour and a bit. We'll talk about that. And we got some Prairie Land Rentals text, Maz, about the kicking game that we can get to in hour two, because we're going to be talking lots of Riders in there, so keep them coming. Brian from Neudorf has one that a number of people are echoing the same feel, so I can condense those. 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals. Let's switch it quickly to hockey here. I don't know how many Oiler fans you know closely that are like really good friends. I know a few, and they are nervous. They are nervous for tomorrow, and rightly so, because what a brutal game. Saturday in Edmonton.
When the Rider game ended, and that was a bit of an emotional roller coaster. I thought we were winning. I wasn't panicking like normal. I checked my phone. It was 2-0 Florida, and I said, I don't have the emotional capacity at the moment to turn the hockey game on and watch that thing, because nothing happens till the third period. And it was 2-0 Florida.
It's like basketball.
And I'm like, I need a break. So I did. I waited it out, and when I finally turned it on, I think Marchand scored to make it 3-0, but then it wasn't long, and then McDavid scored to make it 3-1, and I'm like, oh no. Here we go again. I can't believe how flat. I went back and watched the highlights. Edmonton was kind of flat, maybe nervous. I don't know, but I expected better out of them. Not 5-2.
If you're watching the Rider, if you're a Rider fan there and an Oiler fan, oof, what an emotional roller coaster of a day. Like that's a guaranteed you have like that secret pack of darts in the garage that no one knows about, and we get really stressed. You like go in there and put on your smoking jacket and have a rip. Maybe it's a 10. I don't know. But I know, like, to calm the nerves, you would have needed that. So the dirty thing, too, on Saturday is I hit the over. 6.5. I have no business winning that bet. There's no business for 7 goals to be scored in that game. It's awful. Bush League. I think that's what my son said. The Bush League hockey game. I don't know. And for anyone... They're not starting Pickard tomorrow. Like, bet.
No?
If they haven't announced that. If you have a farm or 2 farms, put them both on that Skinner is playing tomorrow. Let's be honest. Pickard's a good goalie. And hey, he's in the NHL. I have this many NHL games. The thing, like, he is that guy. He plays a little Roman Czechmanic, a little Dominic Hasek, a little that guy that has to go play goal in adult safe because your goalie didn't show up. He's like, I don't know, all over. And you're just trying to block every shot so he doesn't face any rubber. He looks out of position all the time. I don't know how he got to where he is, to be honest. But they play hard in front of him.
They do. Florida's a good hockey team. It doesn't matter if you don't like them or not. You have to applaud the fact that Florida will not quit. No matter what it is or what it was, they are going to play that style of game that I just don't think Oilers aren't used to seeing, and now it's starting to grind. Because somebody said after the other night, it was actually somebody that I respect on social media, that McDavid looks a little tired. And maybe there's more than a few dudes that are probably tired. But I don't know. Bob's on, Marchand and Bennett. Like, if you're Bill Zito and you got to, like, first of all, if you're Bill Zito, incredible. Because I remember when he was getting flamed for some of the moves he was making, and been like, nah, Bill, just give it a minute.
Trust in Bill.
Marchand has 6 goals in 5 games in the finals.
There was a part in that game. I can't believe I just said dude. There was a part of that game where Florida's fourth line, and they mentioned it on the broadcast, Florida's fourth line was owning the Oilers. I'm like, you guys are at home. Okay, but back to the goalie thing. This is Knobloch. I think this was his presser yesterday before they flew out. This is on how they're going to decide the goalie.
That's a conversation with the staff. Obviously, our goaltending coach, Dustin Schwartz, but with all the assistants, the general manager, and kind of weigh in how everyone feels and what's best moving forward. And it's not an easy decision. We've got 2 goalies that have shown that they can play extremely well, win hockey games. And we feel that no matter who we choose, they can win the game.
Yeah. No. Stu's your guy.
Paul Maurice, if there's one thing he doesn't have to worry about, is whose starting goalie is. He's just got to worry about it. And that doesn't help either, because now, like, okay, so Stetchdog was in and Klingberg was out and then Skinner was in, and, you know, you change those guys back? And it's the Oilers' depth hasn't matched Florida's depth. And you had mentioned Gadjevich, Greer, and Nosek. That fourth line has been great since round 1, game 3 against Toronto, and been pretty good. Greer's been in and out of the lineup with injury, but they're playing well and with confidence. And when I saw them playing late in the game with about 7 minutes left, I'm like, wow, Maurice has really got a lot of confidence in them. To have your fourth line out when Edmonton's pressing.
Gadjevich, and what's the other guy?
Thomas Nosek.
Yeah, if you would have told me those, if you would have had a trivia question on who are those guys, no idea. They're at the G7. That's what I would have went with. Are they representatives from somewhere at the G7? I don't know. We got more hockey talk coming up, though. Curtis has given us the break signal. We got a break here. 936-6262. If you're an Oiler fan, are you losing your mind going into tomorrow? Are you finding those darts in the garage? It is a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
The auction action takes us to Raymore, Saskatchewan for the farm retirement auction of Little Dog Acres. Dale and Bonnie Orthner have been farming in the area for over 40 years. Bid on equipment like a 2010 Case 3330 high clearance sprayer, 2012 New Holland CX 8080 combine, Case 9280 four-wheel drive, and a Case STX 425, as well as over 15 hopper bins. Bidding happens online, yacauctions.com, and closes June the 18th at 12 o'clock noon. That's the farm retirement auction for Little Dog Acres.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Since 1942, Unifor 594 has safely served the community and the ever-changing energy sector. We are the unionized workers at the Co-op Refinery in Regina and the Co-op Ethanol Complex in Belle Plaine. We are process operators, tradespeople, lab techs, warehouse workers, tank car loaders, administration staff, and so much more. Unifor 594 workers are also your neighbors, your friends, your volunteers, your community. Unifor 594. Safety is our business.
Ag in Motion is a celebration for Saskatchewan's ag industry. When we get into the field, farmers are invited to get behind the wheel in our Ride and Drive Equipment Demonstrations program for the newest machinery for your farm. Join us near Langham, Saskatchewan, July 15th to 17th. Get your tickets online at aginmotion.ca. Join us near Langham, Saskatchewan, only on Tuesday, July 15th. Get your tickets online at aginmotion.ca.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
With Seco Prestige, less pain equals more wow. It takes just one code to achieve true coverage and amazing results. And that's something to be proud of. Save 30% until June 25th. Seco, see color.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance Heath today.
Not much out of the Riders today. You heard Mark Mueller earlier. No injury update. We'll find out more tomorrow. The Riders are in Toronto on Friday. NHL Oilers back against the wall tomorrow in Florida. It's always Skinner, right? Like we just talked about, Skinner's going to be playing the goal. They haven't announced it yet, though. How about the Penguins announcing Evgeny Malkin won't be offered an extension with the Pens? So last year, with the Pens this year, 40 years old. Teams announced they're starting their first six for the Olympics today. Canada, no surprise, maybe one. McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, Makar, Point, and then Reinhart. How about the Regina Riot? One step closer to the WWCFL Championship after a 22-8 victory over Manitoba. They're going to play Saskatoon this weekend. No games in the Western Canadian Baseball League. East Division leaders are Saskatoon. Red Sox are 3.5 back. Blue Jays off today. They're 4.5 back of the Yankees. And then NBA tonight. Whew, I'll be watching this. I'm actually into it. Pacers and OKC. OKC's 9.5 point favorite in this one. I don't know. That's a heavy line. Sports tickers for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Keeping you in hot and soft water. Call on Reliance. An hour in the books. We'll come back. Hour 2 of the Sports Cage for Kellen Solar on this Tuesday on 620 CKRM.
This is 620 CKRM Regina, the voice of Saskatchewan, a Harvard media station. Streaming everywhere at 620CKRM.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News. 2 people were charged after police found weapons and drugs in a vehicle on Broadway Avenue early Sunday morning. At around 2:15 a.m., police got a call about a man and a woman unconscious inside a car. When officers arrived, both were unresponsive. Once the driver woke up and exited, police spotted bear spray and arrested both. Inside the car, police found a loaded sawed-off rifle, ammo, a knife, and some drug gear. The 2 appeared in Regina court this morning. A former firefighter from Macklin has pleaded guilty to arson causing property damage. Logan Sieben admitted to setting fires between July and August 2024 and appeared in Unity Court on June 16th. The Crown is asking for community service, probation, and restitution, though a final amount hasn't been decided. Sieben apologized in court and will be sentenced on July 21st. 2 other charges, including theft, were adjourned to a later date. Saskatchewan's economy is growing faster than most provinces, according to a new GDP data from Statistics Canada. In 2024, the province's real GDP hit a record high of $80.5 billion, rising 3.4% from the year before. That puts Saskatchewan second in Canada for growth and well ahead of the national average of 1.6%. Officials say the economy is strong and attracting investors. Warren Kading, the Minister for Trade and Export Development, says Saskatchewan has momentum and strong confidence from businesses. Federal Agriculture Minister Heath MacDonald spent Friday and Saturday in Saskatchewan meeting with farmers and their representatives. Stops included farms in the Regina, Davidson, and Indian Head areas. Concerns were expressed about dry conditions over much of the province, as well as tariffs and international trade.
I think trade and tariffs is certainly creating uncertainty. It's uncertainty in investment, uncertainty in decisions that some of the farmers are making. So we have to be certainly aware of that.
Saskatchewan Agriculture Minister Darrell Harrison accompanied MacDonald for the entire two-day visit to our province. Prime Minister Mark Carney opened the G7 meetings by noting countries don't always agree but still face shared threats. The leaders then started a working session focused on the global economic outlook. Carney is set to meet with the President of the European Council and the President of the European Commission today. Earlier, he met privately with U.S. President Donald Trump, who told reporters he thinks a trade deal with Canada is achievable. And a new Netflix documentary on Rob Ford promises to tell the story of an underdog mayor and his public struggles. Trainwreck, Mayor of Mayhem, chronicles the late Toronto mayor's rise to power and his chaotic time in office. Director Shion Brown says she wanted to show the human side of Ford beyond the headlines.
He wanted to help people, but his politics just, didn't necessarily agree with half of the city. So it's quite interesting. I found him really interesting and a complex character, and I really enjoyed digging into, not only the scandals, but the man, behind those scandals.
Trainwreck, Mayor of Mayhem streams on Netflix beginning tomorrow. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
This summer, find your rhythm where the prairie meets the hills. It's the Big Flat Folk Festival, July 11th and 12th in the heart of the Southwest, East End, Saskatchewan, featuring Corb Lund.
Family reunion, she's gonna be a good one.
2 full days of live folk, roots, and bluegrass with artists from across the West, plus food trucks, local art, and camping under the stars. Big Flat Folk Festival, small town, big sound. Get your tickets at bigflatfolkfest.ca.
Employee pricing is back at Capital GMC in Regina.
Capital GMC!
But what does it all mean?
You pay what we pay.
And it means savings up to $12,000 on new Sierra 1500s and savings up to $20,000 on new HDs. Or take advantage of 0% financing on select models. Or check out our certified pre-owned inventory. They all come with 30-day exchange privilege, manufacturer's warranty, and more.
Do not miss employee pricing
at Capital GMC in Regina.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCarra Street. Weather for tonight, partly cloudy sky and a low of 12 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. A high of 26, wind out of the northwest 10 to 20. Tomorrow night, increasing cloudiness and a low of 13. Wednesday, partly sunny sky, isolated shower or thunderstorm, 40% chance of those, and a high of 25. Looking ahead to Thursday, partly to mostly sunny sky and a high of 28.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Unlike the country song Kick the Dust Up, Milligan Bio knows for those of you that are construction site managers, farmers, golf course and park managers, or rural homeowners, it's all about keeping the dust down, inspiring their environmentally friendly road dust suppressant. Safe and easy to use, Milligan Bio's road dust suppressant controls the dust, coats the surface, and reduces grading and maintenance needs. To book application, call 306-272-6284.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. 2022, The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Hour 2. Maz is with me, and Curtis manning the board all by himself, doing a fantastic job, by the way, Curtis. Over there, if you're watching the stream, hit the like button. That's how Curtis gets judged. We're getting text messages coming in, Maz, on the Oilers, and some people on that. So that segment 2, we'll talk more NHL. But let's get back to the Riders and football. And the other, no one has got on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262. So maybe I'll give it a little more time. What the Back Harlow Road was. What movie? The Back Harlow Road. One of the greatest shows from our youth in the 80s.
Back Harlow's Road.
I don't even know how we came up with that in hour 1, but no one's got it yet. And if they do, we can be really good friends. I think my kids are out of school. They probably will get it.
Question for you. So you were off last week golfing in Waskesiu. Now Sharky was in, and I said, "Listen, I don't have an update from Barney, but one text message wasn't going well. You said your putting was off, and he said something about blaming the equipment and not the guy running the operator and all that. Because like we saw yesterday,
I didn't blame
that U.S. Open that U.S. Open winning putt from JJ Spawn, that was incredible. So I'm assuming you had no JJ Spawn moments last week in Waskesiu?
That was one of the craziest epic finishes to a U.S. Open. To use your term, keep in mind, my boy and I are watching it at Baba's house. We're in Saskatoon. I have Victor Hovland. I have McIntyre, who I put a bet down Wednesday night. So that one is paying for the next summer holiday. If that comes in, I'm like, he's leading. And I said, oh, JJ Spawn, that's a tough putt. He could 3-putt this. But then Hovland gives him the read. And I'm like, of all places to hit it, you hit it there. My son goes, you should pull a solid for the guys gambling and just blow it by, not give him a read. I'm like, that's not how it works. He still wants to finish second, big check. That will go down. I was at the 2009 PGA Championship in Chaska, Minnesota, when Y.E. Yang sank that putt on Tiger on 18, and he won it. Korean fellow.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the clutch finishes of somebody without the notoriety. Like the Tiger, there's so many of them. But that was a crazy fit. That rough, that golf course. Speaking of me, it wasn't my putter I was blaming. I took 2 putters up because my putting's been brutal all year. And I'm not that good. I'm like an 8. I just couldn't make putts. I could bogey. So then I even put for qualifying, I used the Mistress. The other putter, didn't make anything with that. Then I went back to the old one, felt a little better. My son was caddying. I said, swing's good. Just trust the process. Swing's feeling good. 8 beer deep. No, there's no trusting anything, man.
Are you allowed to, and I know this is a bit of a classier event, and you should never do this in public, especially in front of your teenage son. Are guys getting so wound up and tight if they play bad, like a club's getting broken or a club's getting thrown? No. You see any of that? No? Okay, there's actual decorum?
Yeah, like what are you... Yeah, you're golfing for fun. Like it's just the fun. It's a big. Well,
no, it doesn't sound. It doesn't sound like it was for fun. Were there prizes in this? Like if you won, prizes. What did you get? What did you get if you won?
Pro shop credit. You want the plaque. If you win your flight, there's 12 flights, I think. Oh. You want the plaque, and he teases me, and then he'll go to the junior lobby. So we want to win a plaque to put it up in the cabin.
Oh,
there's only 2 in our cabin. I've been playing in it since I was 13. Big loser. Okay, Prairie Land Rentals text line. 2 or 3 have it. Luke, Jason, and Brendan. The Back Harlow Road. That is where they found Ray Brower's body on Stand By Me. They went to the Back Harlow Road. God, was that a good flick.
River Phoenix. And a very chubby Jerry O'Connell before he leaned out.
I don't think is River Phoenix in that.
Yeah, he's the main kid. He's the they're all wearing white T-shirts. Yeah, River Phoenix is in that. Google it. Jerry O'Connell, River Phoenix.
He is the
he's kind of like the weird one. Jerry O'Connell's the chubby one. River Phoenix is in it.
No, the weird one is Chris Chambers is who River Phoenix. Yeah, Chris Chambers. God, it's such a good show. Like top 10. You know what I want? We're gonna get to Rider Talk right away. I've been holding off on Shawshank, and I'm not watching it unless my daughter's there. I'm like telling him this is one of the great, although it did awful in the box office back in our day. Shawshank, let's all be honest, everybody watching the show, because if you're a sports fan, you like music and you like Shawshank. Guess what show I watched with my boy, though? After the Rider game, Oiler game, I put on one of my favorite movies. You and I have talked about this show a lot.
Weird Science? 16 Candles.
No, one of the
and it's based, 80s movies.
Based on a true story. Catch Me If You Can. Frank Abagnale Jr.
Oh, that dude was like it's incredible when you actually
16.
read up on who this guy. He was. Yeah, this guy was a swindler, scam artist like you wouldn't believe.
And then
he
the
was
FBI
so good
hired him.
Yeah, exactly. He was so good at stealing. The government hired him to teach them how to catch people like him that steal. Frank Abagnale Jr.
He was.
Frank.
I think he was kind of blown away of the whole thing. There were a couple of moments in that movie that I'm like, "Ooh, maybe I should have fast forward." Mom would tell me to fast forward that through. Mama Bear wasn't there.
That's the only thing I'm worried about is if the Stanley Cup does come to a screeching end tomorrow night in Florida and they hoist the cup. There's not a lot on TV. There's only one Rider game a week. And then I'm salivating over like an Ottawa Red Black game because there's nothing else to watch. And I don't love the Ottawa Red Blacks that much, but it's the only thing on. And I'm a casual Jays fan. Luckily, they're good, but it gets thin after this.
Good.
And the XFL is over, or the UFL is over.
Use that term loosely. Just go start gambling at local baseball and fastball games in your area. You know what? Hey, during COVID when everything was shut down, you know what the best channel to have was? The Horse Racing Network. Because you can play it. Curtis says Super Channel. You don't even know what Super Channel was, man. You talk like you know. You do not know the goodness of Super Channel. If you had Super Channel in the 80s, you might as well drive a Rolls Royce and have a fur coat.
Can we go back to something Mueller said in hour one on the coaches show? Did he give us an answer on Sam Amelis? Was he hurt? Is he going to be out or no?
Said he played
a little bit.
Caught a pass in the fourth quarter. There's going to be more come out tomorrow.
I know, but for a lot of the game in the fourth quarter, they showed Sam Amelis on the bench without a helmet on. And Deshaun Mims was in. So that had me worried. Well, no, because in the first quarter there, that Mario Katsantonis, he smoked Emelis on that interception. He hammered him. And luckily, Emelis popped right up after that. I was worried. I'm like, uh-oh. Because when we chatted with Rick Zamprin last week, I asked him about Katsantonis. I said, I always liked him as a football player because as a safety, he's always coming downhill, ready just to lay out some punishment. And Katsantonis had a good game.
He did have a really good game.
He did.
But again, like we talked about in hour one, that is a game that
we used to lose.
Old Riders, we lose that game.
I know.
John Gregory sweater days. And even Ken Austin days. Corey Chambers. Anybody. Except last year, we wouldn't have lost it.
On Friday, Greg and Alex from the Piffles podcast came on, and so we talked about this. And then after the game.
Was Greg backwards hat guy?
Yeah, and then I asked them if they get free Dairy Queen because that's one of their podcast sponsors. They said no.
What?
And we talked Blazers. But anyways, after the game, Alex put up a post, and I read through. He talks about the Riders cover zero defense, and he's like, no, it's not cover zero. Just they're covering nobody, referring to Kenny Lawler having 150 yards and going off. And Kenny dropped a couple as well. Like Kenny's numbers could have been better. Lawler, he's always had our number. And same thing with Bo.
Oh.
Like he was just a little off at times. And Yeah, those are games we used to lose. We won 28-23. Crazy how it is. People are losing their mind over the field goal kicker. Whatever, we won. Hey,
People love Stand By Me, man. I'm getting texts here. I'm telling you. Sportscage listeners, those are our kind of people. Chris Chambers, played by River Phoenix. Jerry O'Connell was Vern in the show. Hey, Vern. Corey Feldman, Teddy Duchamp. He has his ear burnt off by his dad, the loony up in Tokus. Will Wheaton was Gordy LaChance. Gordy had a rough because Gordy's brother passed away, right? And his brother was like the pride of the family. Kiefer Sutherland, man, he was a badass in that show. He was good. And then I'm looking up the cast. Suzanne Thorpe was the lady that puked in her purse. If you know the movie deep, you know who she was. Let's go to the Prairie Line Rentals text line on the Brett Lauder thing. See, I was going to go to Brian in Neudorf again because he kind of sums it up. I don't think the Riders should cut Lauder because of one bad game, but I do think they should have. I think they should have someone in town. Competition isn't a bad thing. Second, have someone just in case of an injury, which does happen. And there was a number, thanks to, who else is in here? George, Walt, Travis. Travis was another. This Travis, there's two Travises. This Travis said, I'm going to the game in Toronto this Friday. Wondering if you guys know if the Riders are doing their pre-game parties for road games this year. I didn't see anything about Hamilton. Thanks, Travis. I do not know the answer to that question.
I don't think so, but listen, if you were betting on Maz, more wrong than right. Just over the career arc, more wrong than right. For everybody that's losing their mind on the text line, hey, I get it. We're passionate. It's game 2, and we're ready to jump off a cliff. We win 28-23, and we blow a bunch of field goals. But remember the good old days when we used to go 6 for 6 in field goals and end up losing the game? Yeah, that's my thing. If we win, I don't care.
Fred saying, have you guys talked about the holder and the snap and hold? Yeah, we did.
Yes, I don't think there's anything. And we don't know. And Lothar's never going to come out and go, actually, the new punter guy, it's just a little off. Boom, put it on him. He's not going to do anything. Not going to say a word.
No, definitely won't. It's second week of June. We're okay.
If we keep winning, then I'm good.
You want? I use this word twice a week when it's really. Some of our listeners are so deadly that we listen to this. Mike in Fort Qu'Appelle. We talked about the G7 being in Kananaskis and around Calgary and blocking traffic and the fourth line from the Florida Panthers possibly there. You guys are talking about all the black SUVs of the G7 meeting. They're all going to be shredded as per government Canada's policy since the mass shooting in Nova Scotia 2020. Huh.
What?
All those black SUVs, because I was like saying someone's going to load up at an auction.
Yeah, just keep in mind, climate people, those aren't battery powered. Those are gas powered vehicles.
What if someone that had the SUVs before would have put a little chip in there? Could listen in on some of the conversations. Ooh, that's conspiracy theorists. Lots of Stand By Me fans here.
First of all, I would love to see you try and sit and listen to 5 minutes of political eavesdropping
in a different language
before you got bored and went like, I'm out.
No. If it's the right thing, I can get into it. Just like that guy, that psycho in Minnesota that killed those people. Oh. My daughter and wife were there. They were playing hockey 15 minutes away from where it happened. So they were like going to go to the weekend concert and on Saturday. And I'm like, probably going to be okay. They're like, nah, we're just going to stay in the hotel. That's one of those things. I went down the rabbit hole. That was crazy on the weekend. More here. Text line. Lother will be praising him by the end of the year. Yeah, I can see it. It's just, back to hour one. Rewind. It is not as easy as just bringing in somebody, especially someone that doesn't know the league. They talked about this on the post-game show, Rider Broadcast Network, our team here. you got to know the quirks, as Curtis said, of each of the stadiums, because the Hamilton one supposedly is the most difficult one to kick in. I wouldn't have thought that. I would have went with Saskatchewan or Winnipeg, because it's never under 15 or 20K wins here, and it swirls around.
I'm going to call BS on that. That Hamilton is not, and the wind at kickoff, and we can check, it was 9K an hour, so it was a non-factor.
You know who we should text? Our friend in Japan, because didn't he work in Hamilton? Eric Francis, and kicked, went to camp. But it was a different stadium.
I saw a picture of Eric and his wife and kids on a Japanese subway the other day. Just they were going somewhere, and I was like, well, that looks crowded. Eric, just be like, yeah, sorry guys, Stanley Cup Finals on. Yeah, I'm going on vacation with the family. We're going to Japan. I'm out. Catch you later.
Doug in Crake. More from Ellsbury. Sorry, Doug. Just leave Lawther alone. He'll figure it out, just like he did last year. That's right. Speaking of Ellsbury, I still got to get to that bar there.
Rider defense looked good. Jameer Thurman coming right down Main Street again, causing Bo Levi Mitchell all sorts of problems. Hamilton, I think they had under 5 rushes in that game. Like
let me tell you,
you knew that they weren't going to run the ball a ton, but they abandoned it quick because once they got behind, they had to throw it. And I thought the Rider D responded well. Yeah. Outside of Kenny Lawler just kind of doing Kenny Lawler things, which luckily didn't turn into touchdowns, most of them. He got 150 yards on us. That's what has me worried about this week against Toronto. Because even though Nick Arbuckle looks terrible at times, DeMonte Coxey is another one of those Kenny Lawler types. If you kind of put it near him, he'll go get it. Because even against the Stamps on Saturday, he was able to make some nice plays. And Toronto played well at times. They just couldn't seem to string it together. And then the Stamps got a bit of a lead, and Toronto just couldn't pull it. So, but like when we had Dinwiddie on the show, 3-4 weeks ago?
Oh, more than that.
Don't underestimate him. All they end up doing is end up winning the Grey Cup with rosters nobody's ever heard of, with people that we've never come across in the CFL.
With the fourth line guys from Florida.
Yeah. Nosek, Gadjevich, and Greer, a new law firm that, you don't have to pay them up front. They just take 40% when they win.
They put up a billboard. Okay, we mentioned this in hour one that we're going to talk about it. The Calgary-Toronto score, 29-19, surprised me. That game surprised me. And the other game that surprised me was Winnipeg, a 14-point win over BC.
Costly. And we chatted with Farhan on Friday. So it's cartilage or it's an oblique thing for Rourke. They don't know if he's going to play, if they're going to sit him out. But if you have an oblique as a quarterback in week 2, and that's never healing. That's always probably going to be with you and maybe potentially get worse. And Brady Oliveira, the shoulder, but I did see on social media today he was in gym clothes. And he was running up and down the field or whatever, looked okay, but that could be a 6-game injury list type situation. A lot of us were looking to see if it happened on a play in the game, but it was one of those we just didn't notice him.
You are absolutely correct, though, with the oblique thing in week 2. That ain't good. That's bad chicken.
Nathan Peterson, the Brady Oliveira backup.
Curtis,
I know I was going to say
looking bleak.
Yeah. So here's this Canadian kid from the U of A, just picks up where Oliveira leaves off and rattles off 130 yards and has a good game. And it looks like they may have found another one to feed that Canadian running back system in Winnipeg. And for everybody, Winnipeg's old. Well, sometimes old is good in the CFL because it just means you've got experience. And Willie Jefferson didn't look all that bad. He was a monster. He was all over the place.
Remember how bad Winnipeg was at the start of last year, and they didn't play anybody in the preseason, and then they were 0-4.
0-4.
And we were laughing at them.
I know. If they would have lost that fifth game, that would have sunk their ship, but they didn't. And then they rattled off 6-7 wins in a row.
Yeah. Montreal 39-18 over Ottawa.
That was a tough watch. Ottawa's not a good football team.
I didn't watch that one.
That was a tough watch.
I was probably
Montreal's good.
putting.
Montreal's going to Edmonton this week on Thursday. It's the Elks home opener. Should be a good crowd. But if Montreal keeps up what they did in these first 2 weeks, Trey Ford, not Trey Ford, Cody Fajardo, I don't know if it's going to matter.
I said Fajardo. I went under week 4 that we would see Fajardo starting. That was an aggressive one. But speaking of good crowds, did you hear who's playing the Grey Cup kickoff party week-ish something in Winnipeg? Playing at the hockey rink. Did you hear that? How they tied in a little artist that's touring with the Grey Cup week festivities? You didn't hear this?
Is it Bryan Adams?
No, not Bryan Adams. First initial of first name is correct. Country star.
Luke Bryan?
No. That starts with an L. First name. Really good guitar picker.
Keith Urban?
Name starts with a B. Potsy.
B. Brooks and Dunn? No. Have you seen Jason Aldean's set list for this tour? We'll go through that because they're going to be in Craven into 3 weeks. Oh. It's 26 or 27 songs.
Oh,
I can't wait.
All-time favorite. I'm going to have to say sober for that one because I want to remember it this time. Here's the last hint on this guy that's coming. What's a deep cut I can give you to try and see if you'll get it?
First name starts with a B and he's a country star?
Really famous. He has a fun song called Camouflage.
It's funny. Brad Paisley's one of the few country people I don't care for. I don't have any interest in Brad Paisley. None. Just none.
You know that he played Moose Jaw the night that the world shut down for like COVID? He's like, he went on stage. He's like, I think we're just going to get this one in. And it did. The next day, it was like, wear a mask, plexiglass everywhere. It's still a thing in Winnipeg. And like, can't go anywhere. Say goodbye to all your friends. Man, it was the night before the world shut down. Brad Paisley played Moose Jaw. I was there. That was a weird time. There's so many. I wish this was a podcast because there's so many things I want to say. But we have to go. We have to go to break and come back.
Hey, trust me, it can be. If you keep talking, this will become a podcast real fast.
Oh, you're on to something. It's a Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Friday is game day as the Riders take on the Toronto Argonauts. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk and Tegan Whitco's at 2:30. The pregame show's at 4:30. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I's at 5:30. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Salford Equipment, Western Ag Professional Agronomy, and the Saskatchewan NDP Caucus. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
I'm Bruce Lowe with Ag Direct Hail Insurance. Back in 2014, we launched Ag Direct with the goal of changing the crop hail insurance industry by combining broker-free rates with superior customer service and professional claims handling. Thanks to the support of hard-working farm families, Ag Direct Hail is now one of the largest and fastest growing crop hail insurance providers on the prairies. Visit agdirecthail.com or call us toll-free. We appreciate your business.
On the farm, dirt doesn't just get under your fingernails. It runs through your veins. Your equipment is just as tough. You bought it for its rugged dependability and efficient operation. To keep your machinery running as good as the day you bought it, you want genuine AGCO parts, fluids, and filters from Nick Service. Their friendly parts staff has what your equipment needs to keep it running at the top of its game. Keep it genuine at Nick Service, your local genuine AGCO parts headquarters.
Bidding is now open for the timed online farm equipment auction for Bruce Wilmot of Cardiff, Saskatchewan. Register to bid at macauctioncompany.com. Up for auction, Ford Versatile 946 4-wheel drive, a Versatile 875 4-wheel drive, John Deere 9600 Combine, Westward 9000 Swather, Peterbilt 379 Semi, plus much more. Go to our website, macauctioncompany.com, to view the entire auction. Bidding closes this Thursday, June 19th at 10 a.m.
Where can you find a picturesque small town with the amenities you need?
The town of Wolseley, that's where. In Wolseley, there's always more to explore. Take a scenic walk on the swinging bridge. Relax at the beach. It's a wonderful place to raise a family with excellent K-12 schools, parks, and playgrounds. Affordable and safe, Wolseley is a town that's close to everything, yet far from what you expect. Learn more about life in the town of Wolseley at wolseley.ca. Wolseley, we're waiting to welcome you.
It'll be take me out to the ball game or take me down to the rink before you know it. And Extreme Hockey and Sport will have you ready for everything this season. You'll be all set for the ball diamond with team kits, bats, gloves, accessories, and training products in stock. And of course, they've got everything to get you geared up for spring hockey. Whatever your spring sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered. 1425 McIntyre Street and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
Howdy, Wood Country Woody again. You know, you and me ain't so different. We both love to sit on a sunny deck with a cool beverage instead of sanding the thing all the time. And when I heard TimberTech composite decking material is super low maintenance, well, that sold me right there. They didn't even need to mention that it features a sweet little hidden fastener system or that they also have the treated lumber that goes underneath. It's easy, it's pretty, it's TimberTech from Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale, wood-country.com.
The certified pre-owned vehicle demand is high and our supply is low. We need your trade-in at Capital GMC. We have 180 certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Be sure to check out employee pricing on all pre-owned vehicles, with rates as low as 4.99 for up to 60 months on select GM certified vehicles, and a great selection, plus 150 plus point inspection and roadside assistance. Capital GMC is the GM certified pre-owned vehicle destination at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina, where we go the extra mile and so do our vehicles.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Clutch Performer, I don't know, Maz and Curtis, you guys do have one? I'll go quick. I got two. First one is more legit. Congratulations to the 2015 Junior Pats. They won the North American Hockey Classic 4-3 win over the Manitoba Thunder yesterday. So the 2015 Junior Pats. Congratulations, Clutch Performers. Fine, Curtis.
Oh, so my Clutch Performer is going to be Roland Milligan Jr. for getting his first CFL touchdown with that pick six against Hamilton. Funny enough, a guy that was leading in interceptions last year, he never got a pick six. So this is his first one, and
yeah,
congrats.
Good one. Good one. Maz, your neighbor?
We got to go JJ. No, I saw his kid was cutting the grass today. So I got to go JJ Spawn, U.S. Open. Oh. He was the round one leader, and we talked about him on the show on Thursday. I'm like, whoever JJ Spawn, and he's leads by 4 shots. And then, like everybody fell off the leaderboard map, and then he just emerged on Sunday, and I checked, and he was down by a couple going in. But how long? Do you think that was a 40-foot putt, Barney? Like, how long of a putt was that?
At least.
For sure 40?
That was such a good putt.
That was crazy. And he ends up winning by like one. And it's funny, now that he wins a major, he's automatically in for all the other majors, the money and everything that's going to go along with it.
His two little girls were super cute too. At the end, his wife was there. Good on him, man. The guy's never won. And he goes and wins the U.S. Open. Okay, my last one. We have a ring at the house, right? You have a ring, and when there's action at your front door, it pops up on your phone, and I'm like, what the heck is who's putting something in my mailbox today? Oh, if you're one of the people watching the stream, Clutch Performer to the guy that was delivering these today to mailboxes. A phone book. Oh, like I guarantee my neighbors are like, what the? So I've started flipping through, Maz, and there's the odd still pizza place that'll take out a full pager. There's only one lawyer that I see with a full pager. That guy's going to be buzzing in divorce season. One Oriental restaurant. one auto body place. Like this thing.
When
kids
is divorce
have no
season? Is there a time?
And then looking at how many people still have their phones listed. Remember that was the thing back in the day? Like if you went...
Do you guys have a landline still?
No.
No?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Because
so
your
the kids
mother-in-law?
can call grandma and honestly, so the kids can call grandma.
Get them
and
a
grandma
cell
can call
phone,
house.
you rube.
Yeah,
Well, no,
even,
but up
my
until
grandma's
this
even got a cell
point-
phone.
Well, no, grandma has a cell phone, but in case the kids ever needed to call, there's a phone that's right there.
Yeah, what if no one's home, though? If it's a cell phone in the pocket, you could just, from anywhere.
You know what? I get because I get some people are onto that. Oh, man, like I'm flipping through this thing. If you ask anyone under the age, how old are you, Curtis?
I am 26.
Have you ever used a phone book?
Oh my God.
I have used a phone book. My parents still have a landline. So
is their phone number listed?
You know what? I'm not 100% certain. My parents would definitely be the type of people to get their phone unlisted.
Oh,
but
yeah, those were always the people that had some
the ballers with an extra $4 a year to be like, I'm getting an unlisted number.
Yeah, unlisted.
Hey,
and then the Maestro. If you had a Maestro and the name wouldn't pop up, unknown number. The first people with unknown numbers. Savvy veteran move.
Just out of curiosity, pop that open. Go to one of the Chinese food ads. Are they listing the prices in there? Because it would be great to see 10 years ago and 20 years ago what the same item cost, because everything's through the roof. To be like, all right, this used to be $4.95 and now it's $19.95.
Okay,
are there prices or is it just?
Yeah, give me what do you want me to look up? Yesterday all I wanted was for Father's Day. I ordered myself Chinese food in Saskatoon. A family supper. All I wanted was egg. All I wanted was egg foo young, and of course they call back after I ordered 20 minutes later. And now we're starving. He's like, "We're all out of the ingredients for egg foo young." I'm like, "What?" That's all I wanted on Father's Day.
So how much is pork fried rice? If they pork fried rice is in there, how much is pork fried rice in 2025?
This place actually, their pork fried rice they're not a bad deal. $7.95.
That's
I'll go to
it?
this other one here. Pork fried rice on the other side, $6.95.
What?
Wow, yeah, that does seem a little odd. Maybe it's because it's fried rice. Let's go to something more expensive. It seems like, what's an expensive dish? Mugu gai pan, near $10.75 there at the one place. Curtis, what do you like? If we're ordering Chinese food right now, what would you get?
Probably ginger beef.
I knew you were going to go there.
Why?
No, and that's usually one of the more expensive things. Where is it here? Ginger beef, $11.75. Still not a bad deal. I think I paid $14.95 for the one yesterday in Saskatoon. Yeah, so clutch on the guy who's delivering phone books today. Oof.
Tell me he was driving around with them in the back of his car and not walking around like they used to with those carts.
You should,
because you had to drag them around because there's no way you could carry them.
Should have a horse.
How many of those numbers do you think you guys could probably like Google and figure out most of them without a phone book?
100%.
100% of them? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Clutch. What would you do without that phone book, Barney?
I wouldn't have show prep for the last 5 minutes. Clutch performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Hey, we mentioned the Rough Rider Foundation 50-50 this week. Riders5050.ca. The early bird prize, Vancouver Rider game, July 19th. I forgot about this game. There'd probably be a lot of Sasky people making the trek.
They do,
there
because they go all out and they do the outside of BC Place Stadium. There's like a little rider festival. There's that watermelon eating contest, and there's like watermelon abuse going on if you're a Lions fan and you don't want to participate. And they really get into it. They've kind of made it a thing. I think this would maybe be Cliver, who could probably speak to this, third year. Kevin Clive, how are you? Third year or fourth year that BC's really leaned in on when the Riders come to town, making it a thing to get everybody fired up.
You can win tickets to the game, flights, accommodations near BC Place, round trip transfers from the airport, or take $3,600 cash. The early bird, Rider5050.ca. We got some more coming. Oh, somebody on the text line. Our listeners are good. 62 feet. That's what that putt was.
Wow. It's incredible.
That's clutch. And still, we got Stand By Me. Stand By Me comments coming in.
Oh, you know my new favorite show on Netflix? Well, season 1. Season 2 got released a couple weeks ago. Tires with Shane Gillis, the comedian. It's so funny. It's so funny.
I've watched it.
It's so funny.
It's funny.
Oh, it's so funny. If you like to laugh, like old school laugh, like it's the 80s or 90s, there's no such thing as political correctness. Tires on Netflix.
Stand By Me fans. Eyeball Chambers, you remember? He was friends with Ace, also Kiefer Sutherland. He was played by Bradley Gregg. It's the stuff you get here on the Sports Cage as we stream at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
Farmers, grain, poultry, cattle, barn, house, and more. A generator is a necessity. Whether you need to keep operating during an outage, keep water bowls from freezing, grain drying during winter, or need power at a remote location, you need a generator from Shorty Generators. Now is the season to buy or service your generator on the farm to be sure you always have power when and where you need it. And Shorty services all makes and models, including PTO generators. Shorty Generators. Power where you need it. ShortyGenerators.ca.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
You know them as TM Auctions, but Terry McDougall and Tam Kostanek would like to introduce their new name, McBids. Now known as McBids, they will continue to proudly serve Saskatchewan. With over 50 years combined experience in the auction and appraisal industry, experience, trust, and transparency are words they live by, and they will continue to do so as they invite you to join them as they continue their journey as McBids. Give them a call at 306-262-6327 or visit McBids.ca. McBids, same trusted team, bold new brand.
Proven by countless farmers, 900 Series fence sprayers set the standard for your crops, and it's available at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Featuring 370 horsepower, 132-foot boom, 1,580-gallon tank, smart drive 4-wheel steering, and Liquid Logic recirculating boom, the 900 Series fence sprayers are backed by a 3-year, 2,000-hour Gold Star warranty. Leaders drive Fendt. To learn more about making your crops successful, visit Nick's Service today, nickservice.com.
620 CKRM and Harvard Media are proud to be from Saskatchewan. Our thoughts are with those devastated by the wildfires across our communities. The Red Cross is urging people to follow directions from their local authorities and to take the necessary steps to stay safe. We encourage anyone who can to donate at redcross.ca, where your donation will be matched by the federal or provincial government to help provide relief for those impacted. For quick access to the Red Cross donation link, text the word RELIEF to 306-936-6262.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
It's good to be home.
Mom, what's for dinner? Can we get pizza?
Before Mom even had a chance to get annoyed, she recognized the good idea one of her kids actually had.
Not bad. Not bad.
After a long day when you don't feel like cooking, think Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Saskatchewan, it's time to talk sports. Sportscage is on the air. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. And we're always online at sportscage.com. 620 CKRM.
You can always have your say on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, whether it's power tools, gardening tools, or if you need a big skid steer delivered. Prairie Land Rentals in Saskatoon, or in Regina. Get Chinese food in Saskatoon on the brain. 600 Albert Street, you get to deal with the owner. Prairie Land Rentals text line is 936-6262. Oiler fans are saying, go down here to, which one? Leonard. Edmonton, play like old men on the ice. Indecision with the puck was just terrible. There was a couple. There was that Ekholm made that play, and they twisted it down and scored. Brad Marchand. Oof. What a pickup. Who would have thunk?
So, it's a first. It doesn't matter about that. It's a first round pick now. Like for what Brad Marchand has given you. And the other thing is, if he decides to stick around in Florida on a team friendly deal, because apparently he's already got a place there. He's driving in the golf cart, not wearing shoes. It's a good life. He's got young kids. Dairy Queen got young kids.
Like if you kind of think about it, if you're Florida, because you're probably going to be good for the next however many years, you're never really going to get a good pick in the draft anyway. Like, what are you going to pick? 29th? So that pick is useless. You just make your hay in free agency. Hot tip.
Okay.
People want to play in Florida.
Exactly. Okay. But Nate Schmidt kind of revived his career, right? He's a buyout from the Winnipeg Jets. All right. Nobody wanted him. They said, no, you have to go. We got no use for you. So Florida's like, thank you. That's a pretty good number 4, 5, 6 defenseman that Bill Zito picked up. And the whole no state tax, and Gary Bettman, to his credit, when he was on one of the pregame shows, said, hey, remember a time when Florida was really bad and nobody wanted to be here? They built themselves into a really good contender. Same with Tampa. Remember Tampa when they first started under, what was it, the Len Barry Melrose era? They were just awful.
They played in a baseball
so many
stadium.
Years. I know.
They played
Saw Hootie and the Blowfish there at Tropicana Field.
Rick says Stuart Skinner definitely starting tomorrow. I agree with Barney. Also, Gordy LaChance, played by Richard Dreyfuss, was his favorite in Stand By Me. We're tying in Stand By Me, the classic movie, because it all started with the back Harlow Road, where they found Ray Brower. He was knocked out of his keds, if you remember that. Oh, do you remember that show, Maz?
Yeah, it's
Bill
been a while
Travis,
since I've seen it, but
Bill Travis was the radio guy that was at the pie eating contest. He was up on stage. It's like, hey, from the Wax and Drax is the best on wax. Bill Travis, the whole show, man. I could, and then Hogan, kid with the last name Hogan, won the pie eating contest, kind of. We'll all remember it. Okay, someone texted in about Connor McDavid looks tired. He does look tired. Okay, this is Knobloch talking about Connor McDavid in this series.
I think there's been a lot of good scoring chances for him. And nice to see that he got a very nice goal last night. But I've got no issues with his game. Obviously, our team relies heavily on him and Leon and how they're playing. But I think it's tight checking for everyone, and it's not going to be a mid-season game against a non-playoff team. When there's, sometimes he's had 10 or 12 scoring chances. Those numbers are obviously reduced playing against a good team like Florida. But I think Connor's been one of our best players every single night, and that's what we expect.
There's also the other fact that they're really good on the other side, and they have really good coaching. We got a break? Oh. That right, they're coaching. They're coaching against the world's best player. Not easy, but they're doing a good job, and they're good at it. So
Alexander Barkov wins that award every year for a reason. He's the best defensive player in the NHL. And yeah, you could tell in Knobloch, the pride of Imperial Saskatchewan. Could you imagine, with the money he's probably getting paid, he could have the biggest mansion in Imperial like 5 times over if he wanted to build a spot there, if they win the cup.
Buy the old grain elevator, if there is one.
In that clip, I think he probably wanted to say it's not a regular season game against some trash like San Jose where he's skating around like it's a video game, getting 12 chances a game. Although, like when he gets it, and the one thing about Edmonton, all of them, Nuge, Draisaitl, all of that, because they're trying to get that misdirection going. It's almost to the point of you always know when they get it, they're going to try and pass. And the only person that seems to shoot is the Bush bomb. And if you're Florida, just keep playing that. And Ekblad, people are saying, oh, rumors, Ekblad, free agent. He could be going to Edmonton, could be going to Toronto. He could be going to all these places. Ekblad's been a kind of a McDavid kryptonite out there. Little body every once in a while. The big hit. And what was that, game 3? Yeah.
Where's the Vancouver fans thinking that Ekblad's coming there?
Jeez. Oh, hey, speaking of Vancouver fans, your team's trashed, never going to win a Stanley Cup, but your American Hockey League team is in the AHL Stanley Cup final. They're taking on the Charlotte Checkers, the Florida Panthers farm team.
Did you see how that one game ended? The goalie wasn't ready?
Was taking a drink. Yeah, taking a drink, and they scored. It was very CFL-y. And back to the football game, you already ran a play and scored a touchdown. So how can you go back and say, no, there is going to be, we're going to challenge this? Come on, CFL. You're in fine form in week 2.
Keep the rouge, though. I hit the 27.5. Woohoo! 28. Love the CFL rules. It is the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Asset Link is gearing up for their unreserved June auction sale, June 21st to 25th. Find great farm machinery on offer, like 2007 John Deere 9770 combines, a 2009 AGCO 9345 swather, a 2015 Ram 2500 HD pickup, and more. And there is still time to get your equipment in this sale. Asset Link, with yards in Saskatoon, Lloydminster, and Lacombe. To consign or to bid, visit assetlink.ca.
Employee pricing has arrived at Crestview Chrysler with the 100 Years in Canada event. That means $99 per week on a new 2025 Jeep Compass. Financing as low as 0% for 72 months on select Ram 1500s. Save up to $26,000 on the new Dodge Durango Hellcat. Or get into a new 2024 Dodge Hornet for as low as $38,995. Take your pick, boss. It's employee pricing. Only for a limited time at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
You don't go to Country Thunder to see your favorite artist. You go to Country Thunder to see all your favorite artists. Country Thunder Saskatchewan returns with Def Leppard, Jason Aldean, Bailey Zimmerman, plus Nate Smith, Tyler Hubbard, Kip Moore, Tim Hicks, and so many more. Guarantee your spot. Country Thunder Saskatchewan, July 10th to 13th in Craven. Tickets at countrythunder.com.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 5050 is presented by ISC.
You stand there, hands on your hips, tears brimming while you stare at that beautiful lawn. No one understands the physical toll it takes to make your lawn this stunning except you and Ibarasa & Sons. Ibarasa and Toro have your back, literally. Toro's patented My Ride suspension features a floating rear seat and front shocks that take all the bumps so you don't. Don't wait for the grass to turn green. See the 2025 Toro lineup at ibarasa.com before they sell out. ebarasa.com.
Don't miss Bailey Zimmerman at Country Thunder Saskatchewan.
You're the last thing that I thought I'd
Single-day tickets are available now. Spend July 12th with Bailey Zimmerman, Tyler Hubbard, and James Barker Band. Or make it 4 days and see Def Leppard, Jason Aldean, and so many more. Country Thunder Saskatchewan in Craven, July 10th to 13th. Single-day and weekend passes are available at countrythunder.com.
Country Corner, brought to you by Municipal Hail Insurance. Proudly serving farmers. MunicipalHail.ca.
Join Gloria Evans on location at the McDougall Auctioneers Customer Appreciation Event this Thursday from 11 to 2 and enter to win a 100-ton fertilizer bin in the Great Bin Giveaway from 620 CKRM. The 6th annual Coast to Coast Collector Car Auction is Saturday, June 28th at the Cali Curling Club in Regina. For more information, visit coasttocoastauctionssk.ca. Indian Head Parade Days are happening June 28th and 29th. Enjoy a weekend full of fun, including the parade, family activities, antique market, and live music. Full details at townofindianhead.com. And the Thunder on the Prairie's modified truck and tractor polls are July 4th and 5th in Odessa. Monster truck rides, show and shine, heavy horse polls, and bands playing Friday and Saturday night. Look for Thunder on the Prairies on Facebook.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports. Whatever your sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered.
No Rider practice today, so back tomorrow, and we'll get an update on if there are any injuries for the green and white going into the game Friday in Toronto. Oilers and Florida. Oilers back against the wall tomorrow. Skinner or bust, right? And that one. Penguins announced Evgeny Malkin won't be offered an extension in his contract. Teams announcing their 6 for the Olympics. Canada today, McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, Makar, Point, and Reinhart. Congrats to the Regina Riot. Big win, 22-8 over Manitoba. They now play Saskatoon. No games in the Western Canadian Baseball League. The Jays are off today. But NBA tonight, Indiana, Oklahoma. 6:30 tip-off. Series is tied 2-2. Hammer the over. 224.5, maybe. I'm no basketball expert. But that is your sports ticker. For Extreme Hockey and Sport, whatever your spring sport is, the local store, if you're supporting local, Extreme Hockey has you covered. We're back with Darian Durant in hour 3. It is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
Country's greatest hits live right here. 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news for Echo Sound and for Capel. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe says he's hearing some encouraging talk from Prime Minister Mark Carney about ambitions to make Canada an energy superpower. But he says there's much that needs to be done before that goal can be realized.
Far be it for me to be accused of being, the chair of the Liberal Booster Club the last decade or so. But there are some comments from this Prime Minister that I truly think we can get behind.
Moe was touting the idea of a port-to-port corridor that would enable Canadian goods to flow to the Arctic and Pacific coasts. Saskatchewan's government has confirmed it was unable to use a new water bomber it received in May to fight wildfires. Public Safety Minister Tim McLeod says pilots were training on the new air tanker but had to change course and battle the fires.
This is not a situation where we had resources that were available that were left on the table or, in this case, left on the tarmac. This government has made a significant investment to add 4 additional aircraft to our fleet.
The opposition NDP had revealed the province stored the new air tanker in La Ronge and says the Saskatchewan Party government should have got the plane in the sky. Saskatchewan has now lifted its province-wide fire ban after rain and cooler weather lowered wildfire risk. The ban, which had been narrowed to parts of northern Saskatchewan last week, is no longer needed, according to public safety officials. Steve Roberts says crews are still working to contain Saskatchewan's 4 major fires. Public Safety Minister Tim McLeod says people from 34 communities are heading home. He says the province will work with communities to make sure evacuees who qualify receive $500 emergency payments to help with costs from the evacuation. Logan Sieben, a 25-year-old from Macklin, pleaded guilty to setting fires last summer and appeared in Unity Court today. The Crown wants Sieben to do 6 months of community service and 12 months of probation, plus pay restitution. His lawyer shared that Sieben has bipolar disorder and no criminal past. The judge will decide sentencing on July 21st. 2 other charges against Sieben were pushed to a later date. Canada is hosting the G7 summit in Kananaskis, Alberta, Mark Carney's first major summit as Prime Minister. Following a welcome ceremony, Carney says G7 countries don't always agree, but they face shared threats.
We're meeting at one of those hinge moments, those turning points in history. The world's more divided and dangerous. Hostile states and terrorists have expanded their capabilities and their reach, threatening global security in our local communities. Global commerce, energy systems, even intelligence are all being rewired.
Carney has 2 days of meetings scheduled with leaders from the U.S., France, Germany, Japan, the U.K., and Italy, as well as the European Union. And Canadians will get free access to the country's national parks and historic sites starting on Friday. That's when the government's Canada Strong Pass takes effect, but there's no physical pass you need to use. The program also offers free National Museum admission for children 17 and under and a 50% discount for 18 to 24-year-olds. Culture Minister Stephen Guilbeault says if you already purchased park passes or booked camping, you can get a refund. That is your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Way to go, Travis Kelce. I mean, son.
As fun as it is watching your 5-year-old run the wrong way or pick dandelions on the football field, what if I told you you could watch your favorite sports or shows on the go anywhere? Well, you can with MaxStream TV from Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Take MaxStream anywhere you go.
Oh, wrong way, buddy.
MaxStream and great internet plans available at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel, echosound.ca.
Let's get out on the water. Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a Four Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest. Powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina, serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCara Street. And Croft Electric, 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. CroftElectric.com, and you can find them on all socials.
The isolated shower and thunderstorm threat diminishes as the sun goes down this evening, and the rest of the night we're mainly clear. Temperature falling off to around 12. Some pockets of single digits are possible through the night, but generally we're staying at or above normal, which is 10 this time of year. We're mostly sunny and above normal during the day as well. 26 the high on Tuesday, just a gentle breeze out of the northwest. A few clouds for Tuesday night. May see a quick shower. Might even see one early Wednesday. Most of Wednesday, though, is dry as we're back to a partly, if not mostly, sunny sky. Low 13, the high Wednesday 25. The warmest day of the week is likely Thursday. Partly to mostly sunny, the high around 28. The shower threat negligible daytime, very slight chance at night, Friday too. But the better chance of showers sets up for Friday evening. After a high of 26, we get in some showers. Those showers rounded off through the weekend. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather Meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCara Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
It's Maz with me today, and Curtis. Curtis is doing a heck of a job on the other side of the board. By the way, you did a really good job last week filling in. I was, like you said, I was on holidays, Maz. Tuned in. Good job.
Thanks, Barn. Are we? So we?
I need a favor.
Celebrating.
I need another favor. No, I'm just kidding.
You need another favor. Yeah, I'm gonna actually try. I'm going back next week to try and win this golf tournament. We're gonna need you again.
No, I am off the first week of July, though. I think you're filling. And then Don Hewitt's going to fill in. It's like people win.
Don was on last. Don's a beauty. Don is one of the best. Tomorrow. Oh. I know. He was in last week. Don's the best. Don was so good.
Prairie Land Rentals text line is humming. 936-6262. One thing I didn't get to, and I know we're going to get to Darian Duran here in a sec, but I want to, before I forget, Georgie Porgy, listener of the show out in Pilot Butte, he wants a shout out of appreciation to for the Pilot Butte Rodeo, all the competitors, volunteers, sponsors, spectators. Great weekend. I know you had a big rodeo thing last week on your show. Good on you.
Yeah. So Dustin Edwards came on. So he's originally from Saskey. He's based in Alberta. He was a bull rider at one time and a bronc rider. Now he's a rodeo announcer. It's a lot safer. You can drink easier. And so it was Pilot Butte. It was a triple header last weekend. Pilot Butte, Estevan, Radville.
Boom. The triple threat. And then you just said one of the just biggest weekends, most successful. We gave away tickets last year. I don't know what happened this year, Georgie. And that cabaret, speaking of humming, that thing is a beauty. I've never been able to go, but I bet you that thing was off the charts. Or I bet you slapped, that's a young as man's the kids
game.
Say.
Yeah, that's a young man's game. Like, nobody needs to see us wheel up in a bad-looking cowboy hat. I have one. I have a Kenny Chesney hat. No, I have a Kenny Chesney hat from like 15 years ago, like that he wears.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Kenny wears it better. Not shocking.
More of an Ian Tyson hat guy. But I'd wear a hat to it, not a cowboy hat. And then a lot of women are wearing nowadays. I don't know where it became popular, if it was the Kardashians. The dad hat pulled down low with their hair, and they're all dressed up, driving their fancy SUVs. It's like the look for a lot of, I don't know if it's like a Beverly Hills. Yeah.
Is that what's happening in White City?
Big, any of those.
The Aloe yoga hat, and now it's in their SUV.
I just like downtown Regina today, like 3 of them. It's like, hat pulled down low. It's usually a Yankees or a Dodgers or a Red Sox. Yeah, it must have picked up, like, I don't know what all the shows that the ladies are watching, or wine clubs and all that these days, but that's a trend with the ladies. Anyway.
Speaking of wine club yesterday, we'll ask Darian if he went out for dinner yesterday for Father's Day.
Let's get
yesterday. My wife's like, let's just order the bottle of wine, like $65 later, and I'm like, oh, sure, you're the only one drinking, so why not? Why don't we get a bottle?
I mentioned
what did doubles do for Father's Day?
I ordered myself Chinese food in Saskatoon, and Perry on the Prairie Land Rentals text line wanted to know where I ordered from, so I let him know. There was no egg foo young at this one, though. It's all I wanted. But hey, sometimes you got to make your own breaks. Let's get to Darian.
It's time for Double Talk with Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Darian Durant. Double Talk is brought to you by Campbell Safety Consulting. At Campbell Safety Consulting, we work towards helping companies create a competitive edge by executing a proactive health and safety program.
We can start with that, Darian. How was Father's Day for you? What'd you do? Did you get into it?
Father's Day was amazing.
Oh,
I mean,
Father's Day.
First and foremost, yeah. I told my wife, look, just don't bother me. Let me be. You guys go. You take the kids. You get out of the house. You do whatever you want to do. Just leave me alone. Don't say anything to me. Just let me have my one day of the year. Because even on my birthday, she forces me to, be involved with all these birthday festivities and cake and all this stuff. So this is the only day of the year where I'm able to say, leave me alone and don't bother me. And she grants me my wish. So thank you, baby, for leaving me alone and giving me my Father's Day.
What did you do? Just sat on the couch, stared at the wall, listened to some old records?
You know what? I turned on YouTube. I caught up because I'm not able to really watch and keep up on, the NFL mini camps and things like that. So I was able to pretty much keep up with every team, see what's going on, just catch up on sports. I played a little bit of video games with my brothers because we all think alike. We just want to be left alone on Father's Day. So it was a good day for us.
That's good.
I thought shops be damn. Oh,
I thought you were going to say that you were watching old game tape of when you played and went back, got a bottle of wine and got all nostalgic on us. But Riders are 2-0. Hey, that Hamlet, like Maz and I talked about earlier, not the prettiest win, but they don't grade that.
Care.
Yeah, don't care. Those are games that in the past Rider teams would go in and they'd lose that game.
We'd lose.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how you get it. A W's a W. And when you're going into a hostile territory like Hamilton, they're pissed off about what happened last week in Calgary. Home opener for those guys. They're fired up and they're trying to put on a show for their home fans and get in the win column. So, for the Riders to go into that stadium, which is always a tough place to play, and get it done and we can talk about the yardage. We can talk about everything we didn't like, but let's make sure we focus on the fact that it's hard to go on the road and get wins. It's definitely hard to go across the country and get a win. And, with Milligan and AJ Ouellette suffering injuries and the training staff having to fly across the country and making sure those guys were healthy. And you could see how they both made huge plays in that game, game-changing plays, for them to be able to come back. Because most of the time when you come out of the game with an injury, you usually don't play the next week, right? So for those guys to be able to recover and come in and make huge plays for the team on the road, hats off to that training staff for getting them ready.
So, Darian, outside of Kenny Lawler, what kind of defense or what was the defense doing to Bo Levi Mitchell to kind of limit him everywhere else besides Lawler? What did you see?
Well, you can see Bo had happy feet. I think we talked about it last week. How do you attack Bo? Do you sit back and just rush 3 or 4 and let your DBs play, or do you blitz and, make him move around the pocket or make him uncomfortable? And I think the Riders did it, and Coach Mace did a great job of just mixing that up, having a solid dosage of blitzing along with sitting back and making sure you're sitting covered. So good job of mixing it up. And I keep going back to what he said about Coach Stubler. Don't tell me about how many yards a quarterback threw for or how many yards we gave up. Did we win or lose? And, I like that game plan going in.
We're going to we had Mark Mueller on the coaches show earlier. We're going to replay that later in this hour. One thing we did ask was Kadeem Carey in the lineup. Didn't play a lot. I asked him, did he play as much, less, more than you thought? And then he just said, a veteran guy, he's been in that system, right? So if you're wearing the jersey, you're going to play in the game. Were you surprised that he played? And I think, what did he get, 4 carries?
Yeah, 4 carries, 26 yards.
I think that for a running back, it's pretty easy to transition over to a new system or, get back familiar with the system you've been in before. I think that his snaps were really limited because, when it comes to pass protection on the road, the communication isn't there. You can't really hear. You don't want to put Trevor in situations where he may miss a blitz or there may be some lack of communication there and he may make a mistake. So good job of just getting him in spurts and getting him some carries, getting his feet wet, and giving AJ Ouellette a blow, which he's going to need, because I think that going forward, you're going to see he showed a tremendous burst, and you're going to see a lot more of him going forward if he's going to be running the ball like that.
Keyshawn Johnson had his coming out party. What did he have, like 8 catches and 128 something yards or whatever? That was his best game as a rider. How good is that when you're a quarterback and you can light up a guy to have a career game? That's going to be a good double feeling, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, you can just see Keyshawn getting settled into the offense, the chemistry he's building with Trevor. And, a lot of these passes that he caught was in zone coverage. So he's doing a good job of recognizing defenses, knowing when to settle down, playing with tempo, playing with the right, a lot of young guys, they come into the game and they're playing at full speed all the time. And every route doesn't require you to be running full speed. So you can see him adjusting his tempo, adjusting how he attacks the leverage of the DBs. You can see these highlights here. He's just sitting down in zone right in front of the DBs behind the linebackers. And that just shows you his growth over time and the chemistry he's building with Trevor.
You talk about that zone, and we're watching those highlights there, and there's the look off plays, right, where he looks off, and then then he goes to the open guy, which is textbook. The other thing, Darren, it seems like you talk about him, reading the defenses, but Trevor Harris, like when he's on, and not to just sit here and pump tires, but can that guy read defenses?
This is Trevor, man. Trevor is a career 70% passer. So 7 out of 10 passes are going to be complete. You can't fool him. He knows what's going on. He's seen every look. He's been coached by some of the best in the game. He's backed up, in my opinion, one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks ever in CFL history in Ricky Ray. So, he's learned the tutelage he's had from Scott Milenovich and Ricky Ray has just prepared him for these times. So you can't confuse him. The best thing you can do is try to challenge the receivers and try to throw him off of his timing and maybe treat him like Bo Levi. But other than that, man, he's going to pick you apart. He's going to have a completion percentage at a high clip. And this is just what Trevor does.
One thing that I thought was a nice positive for the Rider offense, anytime they went to Dante Myers, he would come up clutch with a catch. Where last year it seemed if Jareth Stearns was in there at times and they would go to him when they really needed it, and Stearns was inconsistent at best at times. Maybe that's why he's not with the club anymore. But Dante Myers earning the trust of the quarterback when they need him to get yards or get a first down, he was getting it. And that one catch where he had the toe drag, and I'm like, all right, everything we saw in this kid last year, he's taken it to the next level.
Yeah, you can just see the same thing with Keyshawn. I mean, these guys are just getting comfortable. Whenever you can have the same offense for 2 years in a row, you have the same quarterback, you have everything around you that's familiar. Now you can just focus on your job, focus on what you need to do. And you can see that from Dante Myers. You can see him being able to step in and make huge plays. And Trevor trusts him. Some of those throws, especially the one to the sideline, Trevor threw it before he broke. He wasn't even looking back. So just that timing shows you the trust and, the ability that he has of just trusting the fact that Dante is going to be in the right spot. So that just all comes from just being together and over time.
I don't know why, but I get a feeling. There's 2 parts to this. I don't know if Tommy Stevens will be stopped on short yardage this year. Like at 6'5" and how big he is, and like, I want to be down at field level to watch one of those. I'm like, is it physically impossible to stop him unless he stumbles or something? But the thing is, Darian, when I watched him do it against Hamilton, I almost feel like he's either going to break one again soon, or they're going to go to something that like not trickery-ish, where it's going to be early in the game, and they're going to say, nope, let him sling. I don't know why I'm getting that feeling.
No, you're 100% correct. You best believe there's a package where he'll fake the quarterback sneak and, a guy on the edge will leak out into a route, a deep route. That's going to happen, and it'll be a big play. And he's also going to break one. He almost broke one this past weekend. Yeah. He's getting 5, 6, 7 yards like a running back on some of these quarterback sneaks. So he's a weapon, man. And shout out to J.O. for just noticing that you need a guy that can come in and get first downs, especially with a veteran quarterback. You need a guy like this because he's almost 100%. And, that's unheard of.
So the game inside the game, I always thought, even though it was 5 points in the win, the kicking game didn't do us any favors, and the text line is melting down today, and the online and the blog. You know what it's like, Darian.
Yeah.
Sure, he misses 3 on a convert, but we win. A few years ago, we'd hit 6 field goals and lose. I'm okay. Lothar will right it, but also, if they are going to bring in somebody to challenge him, a CIS kid that has no experience, no. I think Boris Beatty is out there. Somebody like that actually has game experience in the CFL, because everyone's clamoring for somebody to be brought in to push him in practice to make him better. Because competition, it does. And you guys have always said it, makes you better.
Yeah. Look, I think Brett had a game like this last year where he was 0 for 4. It might have been in Hamilton. And the thing about Hamilton and that stadium, and if you've never been there, that wind swirls all the time, right? It'll be one flag on the right that's blowing, and then the other one isn't moving at all. That wind is tricky. And when he had a bad game last year, I think he came back and he made, some crazy number in a row after that. So don't even think about letting this guy go. He's money. He's money when it's clutch time. Hamilton has always been a tough place to kick. I don't care who you are. And, I wouldn't dare think about letting Brett go. He's a key piece of this team. He's a vet. And when you need him in the clutch, trust me, he'll be ready.
Somebody on the text line, Maz, just moments ago said, bring in Dean Faithful. And I was like, is that name made up? So I had to go look him up.
He kicked. I believe he kicked with the Elks the past couple of years, and I think he got an off-season look somewhere in the NFL.
He's a big arena football guy. So
look, guys, this is one game. Please don't panic. I mean, I've thrown 5 picks in a game, and
what?
I think I led the league in picks one year, and we went to the Grey Cup. So just we can't base all of this on one game. Let's get deeper in the season. If he starts missing some meaningful kicks, some home kicks, things that game winners, things of that magnitude, then I could see Jo entertaining that. But other than that, leave Brett alone. He's money.
That still holds the record for the most angry text. Get rid of Durant is that game that you just talked about. So it's in the record books.
Who was it against? Was it against BC? Was it Ryan Phillips?
It probably was. Going against Ryan Phillips, Corey Banks, Dante Marsh, and those guys. It probably was.
It is Double Talk with Darian for Campbell Safety Consulting. Another thing we talked to Mueller about, Darian, is you got Hamilton. You're not rolling back into town until early in the morning on Sunday. Then you're kind of, and those plane rides aren't comfortable because it's just a WestJet plane. It's not like it's, relaxed. So those guys are coming back banged up, bruised, day out, and then you're back on the Bird on Thursday to go back out to Toronto. This is a grindy week.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they're doing that. I would have thought that they would have stayed out east the entire time, especially with, this will be your only 2 times in Ontario. You would think that they would stay for the week. But that's just a part of the game, man. You can't control the schedule. All you can do is just prepare yourself to play. And that's what you get paid to do. So they'll handle it like professionals. Coach Mace, he's played. He understands the grind, the late night flights, the flights across the country. He understands how that goes. I'm sure he'll give the guys a day off physically where you can just come in and watch film and just prepare yourself mentally with the game plan. So I trust Coach Mace in this instance that his playing experience will, play a big factor in this with, making sure the guys are healthy.
If there's one advantage to playing Toronto in week 3, their inconsistency at quarterback could be an advantage for the Riders. On that game on Saturday before the Rider game, the Stamps looked good. The Argos didn't do themselves any favors. What are you seeing or not seeing in Toronto on that offense that just has them not clicking? DeMonte Coxey is incredibly good. That guy, put him aside, he's good. Everything else.
You know what? They're the defending champs. And, they have a big target on them, right? And, teams are fired up to play against Toronto. And not only that, I mean, they lost to Montreal and Calgary. These are two good football teams. So I think they'll be ready to play. I won't sit here and say that Arbuckle isn't the answer because he's been playing solid football. I mean, he's been turning the ball over more than he usually has in the past. But, I still like Toronto. I think Coach Dinwiddie is one of the best coaches in the league, and he'll have those guys ready. But, you can't just take anything away from the two teams that they've lost to. They've lost to a fired-up Calgary team with a new quarterback that's just hungry to prove himself. And then Montreal is in my opinion, the best team in the league besides Saskatchewan. So it's two tough opponents that they lost to. So I wouldn't say that they're down right now. I would just say that they lost to two good football teams.
We got a couple more here before we let you go. My last one. How was that going to be in the locker room? How did you deal with it? Where you got Kadeem Carey just got chopped by Toronto going back in. The players, is it like hockey where the players want to play a little bit harder, want to make sure you get this W?
Yeah, I think so, especially if he's come into the locker room and shown that he's one of the guys, right? Yeah. Sometimes you get a guy that comes in from another team or has been released and he's a loner, he's to himself, and you don't develop that early bond with him. But if he comes in that locker room and he's one of the guys and the guys accept him right away, then they're going to want to go and do everything they can to help him show Toronto that they made a mistake. And don't forget, AJ Ouellette came from Toronto as well. So that's two running backs that probably have a little chip on their shoulder going back to Toronto this week and want to show the Argos organization that they made a mistake by letting them go.
All right. For Father's Day yesterday, you said your dream and you got your wish was just to be left alone. And then you went down a YouTube rabbit hole and you were checking out NFL mini camps. Is there any video that you watched yesterday where you can somehow make a prediction that the Dallas Cowboys, because from what you saw, will win the Super Bowl this year?
Not at all. Not at all, man.
Go. Oh no.
They won't even make it out of that division. I'll tell you that.
There was no Brian Schottenheimer video that you watched yesterday that gave you confidence that the Cowboys and the streak will be ended?
No, not at all. I mean, look at the Eagles and look at what Saquon said. Saquon said he's entering his prime, he feels like, after 30. So when a guy says that, and that means he's feeling really good with his body. And then, with the Commanders adding Deebo Samuel to that squad, that makes them even more explosive. So I just don't, when I look at Dallas's roster, I just don't see them having enough talent not only not to make the Super Bowl, but to even be at the top of that division. So they're out of it. But mainly, I'm just shocked at how the veterans in Cleveland have just embraced Shedeur Sanders. I mean, I'm watching the behind the scenes, and he's mic'd up, and Njoku, who's their number one offensive option, is just over to the side, talking with him, laughing with him. You don't see that happen from your best offensive weapon talking to a rookie. Not only a rookie, but a 5th round pick rookie. You just never see that. So the way the Cleveland Browns are embracing Shedeur Sanders just speaks volume. And don't be surprised if he's QB1 on week 1.
Whoa, easy. Save this tape.
Okay, Darian. If Darian's throwing that out there, what are you buying Aaron Rodgers for a wedding gift? Holy smokes, man. Like, wow.
Darian's
I want to be the first to put that out there, right? I want to be the first to put that out there so we can come back to June and say, when that announcement is made in September, we're going to come back to June and say Darian said that back in June.
Hey, let me know what your bookie guy wants. I want to put some action down on that he isn't Darian.
I need to check that out.
I'll Venmo or whatever you some cash tonight if you can get that going for me on that guy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Have a good week, and we'll see how it shakes down. We'll catch up Monday.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Right on. That is Darian Durant. Double Talk brought to you by Campbell Safety Consulting. Does your place have a proper safety program? If not, you can call the professionals at Campbell Safety Consulting. He just wanted to be left alone on Father's Day, Mass.
he was honest and he got his wish.
Some of us wanted Egg Foo Young. Some of us wanted to be left alone.
Darian's bookie just texted me. He's working on his 77 El Camino tonight in the driveway. He can't place that bet for you, but he'll try and get around to it. He's got an air filter problem and not having any luck with the aftermarket muffler.
He put leaded fuel in it because that's what it recommended. No, if I win the lottery, that's one of the things on my bucket list is to go and meet this guy that Darian says is the bookie, old school style. And I'll video it. It'll be like a documentary. So much fun. Okay, we've got a break here. Come back, talk a little hockey, a little more football, read some texts from the text line. It is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
This is Country Gold with Steve Harmon, your home for the country hits of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Hello, I'm Steve Harmon, inviting you to join me for Country Gold. Each week we play country favorites from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and we check in with the stars who made them, too. This weekend on Country Gold.
Country Gold, brought to you by Trent Dickin and his experienced team at Flooring Superstore. Saturday mornings at 6 and Sunday afternoons at 4 on the Voice of Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
Hello? Is there anybody that could help me with some lumber for some projects this summer?
If you find yourself needing assistance but talking to nobody, then you're definitely not at Freeze Tallman, where they even know you by name. You're not just a number. They'll answer all your questions if you have a decking, railing, or fencing job on the horizon this year. They'll even deliver. Shop local. Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel.
Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
I'm Bailey Shikanik, Prairie Claims Manager for Ag Direct Hail Insurance. Our team of professional and polite hail adjusters have one goal: to thoroughly inspect your crop damage and get you a payment that accurately represents your loss. It's that simple, and why shouldn't it be? Having settled thousands of claims to the satisfaction of our customers, I am proud to lead the Ag Direct Hail Claims team. Visit agdirecthail.com or call us toll-free. We appreciate your business.
When you bought your land and placed your future in your own two hands, when the weather wasn't cooperating, when prices went down while costs kept going up, you weren't afraid. A farmer's too busy working to be afraid. If it's time to sell your farm or ranch, call Shepherd Realty in Regina. Harry, Justin, and Devin aren't afraid to ask for top dollar because they respect everything you put into your farm. Get the Shepherd family working for you every acre of the way. 352-1866. ShepherdRealty.ca.
Hi, I'm Robin Booker, editor of the Western Producer. Step into the field at Ag in Motion to explore the crop plots. You'll see firsthand how different crops perform under real conditions, from crop rotation to fertilization, weed control, and disease management. Learn from the experts and discover the latest in crop innovation only at Ag in Motion. Join us near Langham, Saskatchewan, July 15th to 17th, and get your tickets online at aginmotion.ca.
Calling all skilled heavy-duty mechanics. Core Industrial Services has an exciting opportunity for you. They're hiring a full-time heavy-duty mechanic to join them at their 9,000-square-foot shop in Rocanville, Saskatchewan. As a heavy-duty mechanic, you're responsible for performing maintenance and repairs on a wide range of equipment, from heavy machinery to light trucks and more. At Core Industrial Services, they believe in the power of teamwork. Apply today on their website at coreindustrial.ca or call them at 306-745-4844. Core Industrial Services, where expertise meets opportunity. Apply now.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 5050 is presented by ISC.
It's finally returned. 0% financing is back at Capital Ford. That's right, interest rates are low and inventory is high, just like the good old days. Check out the 2025 Escape, Bronco Sport, or the best-selling F-150 and get 0% financing over 72 months, OAC. Plus, Cash for Clunkers is back. That means a guaranteed $2,500 trade when you buy with us. So what are you waiting for? Get into your brand new truck or SUV at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Really, if you're a basketball fan, tonight's your night. Indiana, Oklahoma City, series tied 2-2. OKC, 9.5-point favorite. Jay's off today. No games in the Western Canadian Baseball League. Shout out Regina Riot. They're playing Saskatoon next week after dumping Manitoba. NHL tomorrow, backs against the wall for the Oilers. It will be Skinner and net, right? And Canada announced their first six for the Olympics. McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, Makar, Point, and Reinhart. Your sports ticker in hour 3 for Steelcraft Doors Regina. Made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Steelcraft Doors. And their awesome jingle that gets stuck in my head. Maz, we have to play, and I wanted to save it. I want to do a sneaky one today. Sastel picked the score. So we're about a half hour left. We've got Mark Mueller interview from hour 1 coming up here. Sastel picked the score, 936-62-62. What's the score? Riders Argos. One winner today is going to win tickets to the next home game. Closest to wins a $200 Sastel gift card. You're on Wednesday, but you're not with me Wednesday. So what's your score this week?
I don't know why I'm seeing 19 again for the Argos. Maybe it's a 23-19. I think it may be a lot closer. That Argo defense, and I just don't know if it's windy and crazy, and we're just not in our zone. And probably the burning question from the last segment where we interviewed Durant. If I would have went to Dollarama yesterday, was there a card in there for Father's Day that just said on the front, "Leave me alone"? Like, does Hallmark make those? Darian just wanted to watch the football game. We should get on that.
So, did you get a score?
23-19 Riders. 23-19 Riders.
Okay, I'm going 32-20.
Ooh.
Riders.
23-19.
23-19 Riders. All right, we'll play for some
32-20 Riders. Right. Gross. Yuck. Out of all the dishes you could choose from. That's so awful. That's what that would be. That doesn't even make the list of the worst dishes you could order for Chinese food.
You've never eaten it. That's why.
I've tried it. Scrambled eggs and Chinese food, not good. Although there is eggs and rice. I get it. Trust me. I've had fried rice. I get that. But egg foo young is a little too aggressive on the egg.
936-62-62. Sastel picked the score. Like we said, Mark Mueller, hour 1. We interviewed him. Great interview. Some good insight. Joke about his dad at the end. Some nice words on Frank McChrystal. That's coming up. And Matt, we covered a lot of stuff today. Chinese food, Stand By Me, Riders, Lawther, Oilers.
Phone books.
Another Monday classic.
We covered world politics with the G7 summit happening, and people, we have no idea who they are, but they're in our country deciding things about our fate.
And the vehicles apparently get shredded after, so they're not...
Crazy. That's crazy. Of all of those vehicles, that they can't be recommissioned for something else.
Not calling our texter who texted in a liar, but we should fact check that. Maybe when Colson's back, he's more of the fact check guy.
Not a strength of the show so far. Fact checking.
Here come the pick the scores. Lots of Rider stuff coming in. All right, Mark Mueller is coming up. A rerun of the Coaches Show for Steelcraft Doors and the Rough Rider Foundation 50/50 coming back after the break. Watching the stream at sportscage.com.
Back to Sportscage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKR.
There's nothing to make or eat at home for supper tonight, and I'm starving. What's in the fridge? That old casserole from last month? Mac and cheese? No, I had that for breakfast. What about the pantry? That canned fish stuff? Ugh, this is no way to live. Wait! I'll order Western Pizza. That is a way to live.
Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Hi there, it's Gloria Evans from 620 CKR REM, and I'm inviting you to come down and join me for the McDougall Auctioneers Customer Appreciation Event this Thursday from 10 till 3 at McDougall Sales Yard in Emerald Park. There'll be a charity barbecue with all proceeds going to the Rider Foundation. Draws for you to enter, including 2 tickets to the June 28th Rider game to be won, and a fun, friendly atmosphere. Come on out and say hi and have some lunch at the McDougall Auctioneers Customer Appreciation event.
Employee pricing has arrived at Crestview Chrysler with the 100 Years in Canada event. That means $99 per week on a new 2025 Jeep Compass. Financing as low as 0% for 72 months on select Ram 1500s. Save up to $26,000 on the new Dodge Durango Hellcat. Or get into a new 2024 Dodge Hornet for as low as $38,995. Take your pick, boss. It's employee pricing. Only for a limited time at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.